Hello. Welcome to Real Baloney episode 3. It's been 2 weeks. We took a hiatus for a week, but we are here. I am joined by, first off, sorry. I'm Jacob slash YouTube Gaming, twitch.tv slash YouTube Gaming. This is where I'm streaming. We're also on YouTube at Real Baloney. First I'll introduce the lady in the room. We're talking I had an opening for this. I swear I had something. The I don't know. I'm messing up, right? There's Lainey, the lovely Lainey. There you go. Here you go. Joined by lovely Lainey.
Hello. Hi guys.
And then we're also joined by the gyrating Josh over here.
Hey, what's going on, guys? You don't really get better with every intro you do, huh? It just gets worse and worse progressively.
I had it in my head.
Do you need me to do an intro one of these days? I mean, I could do the intro. I can do it.
You're gonna switch it up. I'm gonna invite you to LA. I'm gonna go to your house. You're gonna stay here for like 2 days, and I'm gonna go to your house and stay there for 2 days, and we're gonna switch it up.
No, what I mean by that is like I could actually start the intro. You don't have to switch it up. I could just be like, hey guys, Real Baloney here.
Oh no.
I am your host for today.
We'll have a theme song.
Yeah, I wanted to do like a fancier look. Oh, hello. Nice to see you after 2 weeks.
No.
No. Okay. Well.
No.
I'm just gonna.
This isn't this. We're not talking about stocks consistently. We're not having wine. We're not. I'm not in a tux or a suit right now.
Don't get started on stocks, man. That's gonna be a topic that we're talking about today. Because damn, we got some stocks now. Stocks, the rise of bro to the moon,
So before we get into our usual, Wandavision, where we talk about that, it's been a week. We didn't do it last week. There was a lot of stuff that happened, so we couldn't do it last week.
So much stuff.
And then we're doing it today because we had some stuff that we were all doing yesterday. So it's been 2 weeks since the Real Baloney. So let's actually talk about what's been going on and what's everybody been up to since the last episode that we did.
First, before we do that, Prom over here in the chat on twitch.tv slash YouTube Gaming says, dang, she got them Steel Series, huh? I think he's talking about you right there. Talking about that Steel Series lightsaber you got.
Oh no, I think they're talking about my headphones.
Oh, the headphone. I was totally thinking about like the Darksaber thing that you got. So
that's the Black Series.
Dude.
That's the Black Series.
I'm just gonna show myself out, guys. It's been a long.
I got those AirPods. So
Oh my god.
Gotta display these beautiful headphones.
Yeah, those are super nice. Oh my god.
Okay. Anyway.
See, the older version of these actually the actual around them lit up, but now they only do it to where the power button lights up and then the microphone when you're muted, and I liked it so much more.
We're going backwards in time.
I know.
So yeah, to what Josh said, let's start with how's everybody's 2 weeks been since we last did the show. I think who wants to go first? I'm gonna go with whoever.
You should go first since you're
me.
You had a lot of stuff.
You go first.
Thank you guys.
You go first.
Thank you guys so much. Oh my god. So my 2 weeks has been crazy. With California opening back up from all the COVID restrictions that we've been on. We're opening up more art schools, our fine art classes here. It's just been crazy over there. So I'm having to send out a whole bunch of stuff. I also got involved in the game stonks that have been going on this past 2 weeks. It happened 2 Fridays ago, not this past Friday, but Friday before that it went up to $60, and then Monday spiked at $150, and I was like, I want to get in on some of them game stonks. So on Monday, I decided I'm going to put my money into some stonks, and man, oh man, waking up at 5:50 every day this past week has been a change in my life that I didn't know was gonna be such a big thing for me. I've had my blood boil. I've been in the process of being on a dip where I'm like, all that money is just going away, and then I come back up. I'm like, oh my god, it's here, the savings, the game stock.
Are you gonna be a part of the lawsuit? that's happening?
I am actually, because of that I was a part of Robinhood and I got in
Right.
on that. So yeah, I am gonna be a part of that as well. I don't know if I can disclose that, but yeah, I think I can.
Uh,
But
so
you go ahead. Yeah, that's been my week. Just crazy stocks and like getting stuff ready. And obviously we weren't here last week, so that's why we're here now because all of us were just super busy. So then, Lainey, go ahead.
I was gonna say, lucky for y'all have only dealt with it for a few weeks. Meanwhile, I've had to listen to nonstop talk about stocks for the last 3 years that I've been with, like, from my boyfriend, and
Oh,
then
jeez.
for the last month from GameStop about GameStop. Like, he was making these like calls ahead, and I'm just kind of like, okay, we'll see how this goes. And saw like it trending everywhere, like trending on Twitter and stuff, and of course the whole thing with Robin Hood and stuff. And
Oh.
so I know he's gonna get on that too.
Yeah, that's
So, quick
Because
question for. Sorry, continue. I
oh
wanted to ask
no,
you a
I
question
was
when
just
you're
gonna
done.
say, I know he's gonna get on that just because, like, I want to say two of the, I think it was like two things he was investing in, like, basically because of the whole Robin Hood thing, they got cut in half, like,
oh
completely.
wow.
So I know he's supposed to get on that because of that.
Yeah.
Stonks.
Stonks to the
So I
moon.
wanted to ask. I wanted to ask you, Jacob. Did you sell any of your stocks?
So, because of everything that happened, I originally when I first went into GameStop, I had to kind of put it into. I'm not gonna say how much I bought in at because that's just like toting something
Yeah.
I don't need to say. But I originally had 35 shares in GameStop, which isn't that much if you know about the stock market. That's like whatever you buy in at. And I had that, and I sold on an upgrowth, and I was like, I'm out of it because it hit a high. And I was like, oh, this is like great, and so I sold it because I had paper hands at the beginning of this. If you don't know, there is a difference. You can have paper hands or you can have diamond hands
Diamond hands.
Right.
because
Yeah.
paper hands means
so-
you're weak. You can't hold anything, but diamond hands
Right.
mean you got that strong hold. So that's what that
Well,
means. And then
I don't think that was
Okay.
a bad idea.
yeah,
Let's
and
hope
so
my boyfriend has diamond hands.
and it wasn't about it. I sold, I got profit from it, I got out. I did my thing.
In and out.
I bought back in because
Oh, you were an
after
idiot.
that day, that was the day it went from like it closed at 1:30, and then Elon Musk tweets out game stonks, and it blows through the roof after hours.
It
Everyone,
skyrocketed,
it went
yeah.
to 300. It went from
Yeah.
130 to
Yeah.
300 in one day.
You have
Yeah.
real paper
So
hands.
had I not bought out
Waited.
that day, it was like an hour before. Had I not bought or like sold, I would have made an even bigger profit. So the
Yeah.
next day, I buy back in. I buy back in the next day. I had 10 shares at that point, and
Okay.
and then it went, and then the whole Robinhood thing happened, and I sold on a down point. So I actually lost money for what I had put in.
Oh.
But then it did the same thing where like once everyone knew that's what Robinhood had done, like it went back up again to like the 200, 250, and then on Friday it's at 312 now, I believe. So
Yeah.
oh my, it's
So
like I said,
you-
painful
so
week.
you-
It's been so
It's
You didn't-
been a
you- no,
whirlwind.
You didn't just have paper hands; you had cottonelle hands.
Oh,
okay?
man,
It
come
ripped
on.
right through the toilet
But-
paper, dude.
but here's the
You
thing.
sold so quickly.
I did, but it was because everyone was panic selling, and I saw that go down. And I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna lose like a whole bunch of money. I'm gonna lose what I put in, everything that I put in, and I'm gonna go negative and like lose a whole
Yeah.
bunch." But here's the thing, though. I've had diamond hands on AMC since $2. So let me just tell you, I do have diamond hands. Diamond hands on AMC, BlackBerry, Nokia, because for some reason that's a thing, and Naked. I got it on Naked
You-
before it happened.
okay,
So
good.
You literally
That's
like almost are investing in the same things that my boyfriend has because he invested in BlackBerry, GameStop, He didn't invest in AMC, and I like asked him why. I can't remember the specific reason. There, like, he said something about it, like, like with how like like with how movie theaters are doing right now and stuff. Um, there, like he doesn't see like growth really happening with it, but
Yeah.
that's just him. I know he was investing in like Best Buy, and then like I think a long term one was like Apple.
Yeah, Apple's
Um,
always a good one to get into.
yeah, and I think that's about it. Um, I have thought about investing some money because I would very much like to like not be broke.
Yeah.
I am
But
in
I
the
gotta
same
wait.
range.
I gotta wait a little bit before I can, but if I do, then I'm probably gonna put some money on Apple.
Yeah. Totally agree.
Well,
Apple and possibly Tesla, because
Mhm.
Tesla did. I know they had announced they had like a new car that was supposed to be like a cheaper car. It was supposed to be like in the what, like $25,000 to $30,000 range, something like that.
that's really good.
Which yeah, because it's like you have like it's Tesla for one thing, but you're putting out a car that is, like like it's going to tailor to a lot more college students and a lot of a more younger audience now that they're releasing this car, because realistically, how many of us that are like in our 20 somethings can say we can afford a freaking Tesla?
Jacob, he has that PS5, that Xbox Series X. He's in the 1%. So
Surprising.
and he got
Okay,
that.
he doesn't count.
He got that cottonelle hands. You know,
got
the
It's
cottonelle
sold
hands.
super quick.
So, and not only that, I actually did get a new car this past
Oh,
2 weeks.
jeez.
And to
Congratulations.
add to that Tesla argument, it's not a Tesla, although it is a hybrid. So so it's super nice. Toyota Venza, super nice. Love it. Venza came back this year after being like kind of put out of its thing on 2015. So they brought it back. It used to be a van looking thing. So if you look up like what's a Venza and it comes up as a van, that's not what I have. I have like a compact SUV is what I have now. So
I wish I could get a new car.
He's got a soccer mom's vehicle.
well, I mean,
I mean, it's better than my car. Mine's a 2010 Rav,
oh jeez.
and it has like so many issues.
To end on for the stock thing to end, I also would like to say I have also bought in to Dogecoin. So if you guys know what
That's a
Dogecoin
really
is,
bad investment.
I actually
That's a
don't.
really bad
so
investment.
Dogecoin is like cryptocurrency. Well, it
Right.
is cryptocurrency, and it's
That's
like
what I figured.
Bitcoin, but it's at like 0.017 like 17 cents, like is how much I bought it at, and it's gone up to it's been fluctuating today, but whenever I bought it the day before it started going up, and it was at 8 cents was at what it got to was 8 cents. So that's like a huge like big
It's a huge jump, yeah.
huge jump, and then it's gone back down, but it was at 2 today. It was at 2 cents today. And I was like, oh man, I'm like losing money on it because of I've sold and rebought in. But
stop rebuying in and just
it's
sell
at
and be done
4
with it.
cents today. It got back up to 4 cents today, and because but what happened was, and this is why I'm still in it, Robinhood did a thing where they were like, you can't direct deposit into Robinhood anymore, so you have to wait 3 to 4 days. So they like kind of halted that, so people are buying in. So within the next like day or two, like I feel like it's gonna go up. I could be wrong. This isn't financial advice. Just anybody watching. I'm not a financial advisor. This is my own thought, my own opinion. Do with what money you want to do. Don't invest if you can't invest. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I have to protect myself.
Do your research
Yes.
if you are going to invest, because the funny thing is with everything that's gone on lately in the last week, people who literally know nothing about investing have kind of turned it into a meme. But it also shows how many people actually want to learn about stocks, because hey, they want to like build their money, like they want to have more money in the future, and like they see investing as a way to do that. But yes, if you know nothing about investments or stocks and stuff like that, do your research because it is a lot to understand.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be like, "Oh, I like this company or I like this company. I should invest in them." Because unless you like have like looked at their, past stuff, you've looked at their like if you looked at them in the last like 12 months, if you know what's going on and you're for sure know that hey, they're going to go up, then fine. But if you don't really know much about a company that you're investing in, like don't do it. Do your like spend your time researching about what companies are actually like worth investing in, or like whether it's long term or short. Look at how they're doing now. Look at what people are talking about. Reddit is a really good way to like get good information on stocks, like their Wall Street Reddit.
Wall Street bets, baby, to the
Hey, Wall Street
moon.
I
bets.
joined that. I joined the
Dude,
Reddit.
Yeah,
it's been
That's
so chaotic, man. It's like
no, but
crazy, but
it is helpful. Like my boyfriend had taught me a lot about stocks just over the course of the last few years that I had no idea like any of that stuff. And then he like introduced me to it, and I'm like, holy crap, like I do want to do something like this because I would like to like see myself saving my money.
yeah, exactly.
So, I'll talk about my week, and I'll continue kind of more or less the stock talk. Stop.
Stop talking.
So my week, my past couple weeks, it's been kind of more or less chill. I went to San Antonio last week, or not last week, yesterday actually. So chilled at Six Flags. Didn't know that they closed early at like 6 o'clock in the p.m. So yeah, they closed at 6 p.m. So
Boo.
it was a little annoying. I rode a few rides, and then went back home, kind of chilled. Um, Caught up to more or less Demon Slayer. Happy about that. That was pretty much it. And then the whole thing during this week was a whole stock thing. I didn't get into the game because I didn't know about the game until it was already too late, to
Oh
the point
no.
where I didn't want to invest because I'm pretty sure I lose a crap ton of money.
Right.
So unlike Jacob, who got in at a
Never.
great point but sold super quickly, um, I didn't get in at all because I didn't know about it till it was already a huge meme that everybody knew. So I didn't get to go into the stock market game. I kind of did start getting into stocks a little bit beforehand with Robinhood. I got a free stock, and that's about my extent to Robinhood. So that's my only affiliation with Robinhood.
Yeah.
Robinhood sucks. Don't get it
If you
unless
need
you get the
something
free
to
stock.
recommend, try out TD Ameritrade.
I know that's where I was gonna go. That's where I'm going to next. I still have
Yeah.
everything in. I still obviously have everything in my Robinhood because obviously diamond hands, baby. That's where we're going. But
Okay.
obviously, as soon as I'm done with all with whatever's gonna come from this coming week, because I'm pretty sure this coming week's gonna be even
It's
bigger than
it,
last week. So
it'll either go two ways. It'll either be everyone just kind of forgets about it and it goes down like normal stuff happens, or it gets bigger and better.
yeah,
But I didn't get into the stock game. It was already too late for me. I was like, well, I'm not gonna buy a $300 stock that I could use to probably eat good for a while. So
yeah,
I'm like, you know what? I'm good for now. I'll wait for the next meme stock
yeah.
so I could buy super early. Yeah. And my advice when it comes to stocks is if you can't afford it, don't do it yet.
Definitely.
For sure.
Actually,
Yeah.
why I'm waiting too for sure because
Stocks is something, if you're like, for it's a good investment for your future. It's
right.
where if you're using money that you already have in your bank account, and that's making money for you.
Yeah.
And what I would advise is, if you kind of just like, I would long term it, because most of the time you want it for the long term. For your future, you want to do long term stocks.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to make a quick buck, you go for the short term stock. But
Yeah.
in my opinion, I would kind of stick to the longer term stocks. You're playing, a kind of low risk game,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
you don't lose too much money.
especially if you're new. Like
Mhm.
You don't want to just go all out and like invest your like entire
You don't want to
life
do what Jacob did
into
for your future.
you don't
But
you know
he
just
got really, really lucky.
yeah.
The
And
stocks.
oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say the stocks game is a fickle market.
Yeah,
As much as you think
Yeah.
you're ahead, you could easily be down.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if you are gonna invest, do your research, buy low, diamond hands
Buy,
it
buy, buy the
until you
dips. Yeah.
reach a yeah
Also,
buy the
be
dips.
prepared to wake up super early because you like if you are someone who like knows about something that's gonna happen, you know, most of the time you want to be up right when the stock market opens.
Mhm.
Like
Which is
you
around like 7
yeah,
Eastern
like
time.
So
so
yeah.
any of y'all doing that, be prepared to wake up like super early. You do not want to miss that kind of stuff because if it's really important, you might lose like all your money just off that.
Yeah, I would just like to say that none of us are financial advisors. Do with your money what you want to do with your money and
Yes,
invest what you want to invest in, but do your research.
yes,
Um, spend what you're willing to lose. That is how you kind of want to look at it. Also, this is what we are experiencing right now with Wall Street and with just the stock market in general. This is a very volatile time. This is not normally how Wall Street is. This is what I figured out. Wall Street is never like this. You have to watch the news for like what stocks you're going to buy into. You have to see what the companies are doing, what the company's going to do to make you think that you need to buy in. That's going to make the price go up because that's usually what influences it. Now what's influencing it is a whole bunch of people trying to short GameStop, and this is the main reason people are shorting GameStop, which means they think that the price is going to go down because the company is going under, which
exactly.
it hasn't yet, but people found out that, and with that knowledge, we have now, not, I wouldn't say we, because I mean,
The
I
rich,
the eat the rich. uh,
exactly, you guys. It's
um,
the rich.
but we, as in like the people who are on Reddit, the people who are investing, we are going in knowing that people are trying to short it, and so we are going in there and holding the stock. We're buying what we get and we're holding it until like it goes up more in price. And the more you buy and the more you hold, it'll stay at the price, but it'll also go down. That's why you see the dips. But people are trying to manipulate the market, and
Yeah.
we've found that out, and we found the loophole in that. So
I
that's what
mean,
we're kind of putting out to the public. But if you look
I'm
at the news,
surprised
oh, go ahead.
this hasn't happened sooner.
Yeah,
I'm one of those people. It should have happened years sooner.
Mhm.
Like it should have
Yeah.
happened around when Twitter started.
It happened in 2008.
Because
It
When
happened
we had the when we
with
had the
BMW.
recession.
Yeah, it
no,
happened.
I mean like someone's like, hey, we should all buy this one stock
Mhm.
specifically to screw over people, and then
Yeah.
everyone does it. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
Like not like the whole pump and dump.
yeah.
The
Right.
one
But
flaw that that is going to come that is inevitable, like literally inevitable, is that we've been in a pandemic for almost a year now, and either way, we're going to hit another recession because realistically, the economy is failing. Like, it is literally going down now because of what's happened in the last year. So, like, it's cool. Like, for me, it's like totally fine that we're doing this now because heck yeah, eat the rich. But like that's the one flaw that it might not happen now, but it's kind of bound to happen at some point. Like it is inevitable. I can already see it happening. So I'm honestly trying to do what I like to like do what I can and hopefully like get my money's worth in investments soon before that actually happens because once that happens like people are gonna like shit themselves.
Yeah, no, for sure.
well, I'm intrigued what's gonna happen when that happens.
Yeah.
Because when everything starts, going down, that's the perfect time to buy.
Yep. Okay, and just to kind of give you guys a closing point right here, a couple people in the chat have said things. Nico says, "Is Dogecoin?" Sorry, I like clicked on my thing too many times, but it says, "Is Dogecoin connected to the Doge meme?" Yes, it's
Yes.
exactly
Yes.
what you think it is. Elon Musk tweeted about it like a year or so ago, maybe months ago. I can't remember exactly when, but it was a couple of years
It's
ago.
been out. It's been out since pretty
Yeah,
much
and
cryptocurrency.
it's been a thing. But he recently tweeted out this week, like he tweeted a Vogue ripoff magazine, which was called Doge, and like it made Dogecoin like just go up to. Prom has a couple things. He says, "I'm gonna lose all my money because Jacob told me to." No, you're not, because I'm not a financial advisor. I swear. Goddamn, how does
if you do want some advice, if you send me $10 Cash App or PayPal, I'll give you another tip.
Oh my god. How does a week go from yesterday? What kind of drugs were those? And then if you're always, and then Prom lastly says, if you're always down, there's nowhere to go but up, baby, and that's the way to live life. All right, so to go from that, I think we're good on stocks. We've been talking about stocks for 25 minutes. Stonks, but we'll give you guys.
Topic of the week.
Obviously, I'll give you guys an update of where I'm at next week after all this plays out and goes on. But let's get to the real matter at hand. All right, is everybody good? Did everybody talk about their weekends and their weeks and stuff?
Yeah.
Everyone good? So are we obviously going to move on to the hot topic that's always going to be the hot topic for a couple more weeks?
Until either season 1's done or it's completely done.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say we have about a little less than 2 months till Falcon and Winter Soldier, so that could definitely be the next hot take.
I think what the strategy is here with that is that Wandavision is 9 episodes, so we're on episode 4 right now, and then that's going to give us a couple weeks, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier starts in March, so that meets up. I think it's going to be Wandavision ends, then Captain Falcon and Winter Soldier starts the next week. I think that's what we're going to see. So, with that, should we just go into spoilers, because I have that text. That text.
Yeah,
just go into it.
Let's go into it, because
okay. For the future listeners that hear this on Spotify, Apple, or any of your podcast things, we are going into spoiler mode for WandaVision episode 3 and 4. So we're going to be talking about that in depth in like literally the next 10 seconds. So if you haven't watched it, come back later. So there's your warning. Here it is. And we're going to give it 3 seconds for you to stop listening. 3, 2, 1. Okay, you wanted it spoiled for you. All right. What the hell is going on in WandaVision?
Don't get me started with episode 4. Don't get me started.
Okay, so I was telling y'all before we started recording, I finally watched Captain Marvel for the very first time, and y'all, spoilers ahead. Basically, Captain Marvel connects with the show, not directly, but more of an indirect connection, because if y'all remember, in Captain Marvel, her best friend, Maria Rambeau, she is the founder of SWORD. They were both pilots together, obviously, she helped her in the movie. And then we see in the movie a young Monica, and now in WandaVision, Monica is the main person in the show. I was just I was freaking out watching the movie too, and then watching the show, and I was like, oh my god. I didn't realize how much connection it had to the show, and then I realized, oh my god, that's Monica grown up. And then they finally established a timeline of when these events are happening. Mm-hmm. So we obviously know now off of episode 4, this is supposed to be 2 to 3 weeks after Endgame, because everyone's finally coming back.
It's just crazy to me. I'm like, we've been a year. It's been a year for all of us.
But then we see another thing that ties into Captain Marvel as well, because in Endgame, if you remember, she cut her hair short. Mm-hmm. And now we find out that it was actually having to do with Maria having cancer. Mm-hmm. She cut her, because we see because I just watched these movies. When they're showing the screen of missing people, she obviously sees Nick Fury, but you can see that she's emotional, because in episode 4 of WandaVision, obviously Monica disappeared as well, and she didn't know her mom died. And clearly Captain Marvel, of course, did because, well, she cut her hair short. So I was like crying
Wow,
too,
yeah.
to be honest. I got really sad hearing that, and I was just like, holy crap. Because I actually personally loved Maria Rambeau in Captain Marvel. So it was really sad that that was kind of how they like ended it for her. But it was also really cool to like know that they were tying that into WandaVision and like knowing that she found its sword and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, Darcy's back too.
Yeah, that was a moment too as well.
That was something like completely unexpected for me. Like I kind of nearly lost it for a second there because now I feel like with Darcy like showing up, it actually like of course he's like we said Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to come out and stuff, but I also feel like in some way it's going to connect to like the new Loki show.
Mm-hmm.
That's or the new Loki series that's going to come out because of course it's not, you know, the same Loki from before. It's a alternate Loki. So I don't know. I'm excited to see her though. I love her.
Now, Josh, I know I already know what you're about to say. You
About
can
episode 4.
Yeah, you can go ahead and say what you're gonna say. I need to go to the bathroom, so you go ahead and spiel your thing. I'll be right back. But
well, okay.
Yeah, just because I already know. I already know. You go, okay. Why are you rolling your eyes at me? I saw that.
Like he's
You
gonna
know
say
why.
he had
I drink a White Claw and I've been drinking water this whole time. Don't be. I talked to you for like 30, 45 minutes. Shut up, man. I'll be right back. All right, talk your thing. Talk your thing.
Okay, so for episode 3, I really liked it. It was a good episode. It was interesting that Vision was catching on and that none of the people could tell him what was going on. I thought that was really, really like, interesting. That it'll be really good for the next episode. And then for when what was it? Oh, when Wanda pushed the lady out of the place, she's like, "I need you to leave," and she's like, and then she just gets out of
Monica.
the little force field. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, okay, dang." And then I started episode 4. I watched it this morning because I'm like, I'm gonna watch it this morning for this podcast because I didn't have time, yesterday. Because when I got home, I just crashed out. I watched it. I did not like episode 4. Yeah, I didn't like it. There's a reason why. Okay, if this is just me when I watch shows. I was talking with Jacob about it, and me when I watch shows, I'm like, okay, for hopefully for like a season 2, right? But apparently this is gonna be a whole one season, so it's not a huge deal. But you know how when you start a new show for the first season, and then they have a season 2, and then they have a season 3. Well, in the first season they kind of introduce everything. They don't show a lot of the back stuff until the next season. And then it goes into crazy detail the next season after that. Well, to me, right, if I was Disney, I'd make this like, The Mandalorian, where you have like a season 1 and like a season 2, and then like, how she ends up going back for Endgame. Just like a couple seasons, nothing like a whole like, like 10 seasons and then she's in Endgame or whatever. But what I was thinking, it was like, I'm just super interested in like the dynamic of like how they're making this into like a 60s 70s type show, to where like when they threw in that show where or the last episode where they're explaining things on like how the people, how I guess she found out that her mom had cancer, or
Right.
how she got into the show, or about all the people, like who all the people in the show are, and about how they found out this is a show and how everything was going on behind the scenes. For me, it's just like I could have waited to get into that, but I understand because after episode 3, she gets shoved out, and people want to know, hey, what happens? It's just, to me, it's like, I kind of want more of like that 60s, 70s, where like that like terrible, terrible humor, which I find funny for some reason because it's so bad. I just want more of that with like the crazy antics of like, the guy's dying. You need to save that guy. The guy's dying. Save him. I want more of that. Compare, and then just I guess later on, like if they were to make a season 2, right, to be like show more of the backstory to throw to have everybody in it. But if this is only like a 1 season, 9 episode type of deal, then I mean I understand. It's just I would like to see more of like the funny like 60s 70s antics with the whole crazy like rated T for teen where like a guy's like choking and like someone's dying and there's like, how come you're not saving that person, sort of stuff. That's just my take on it.
The way I see it, just because, so like, what one thing I will say is like I saw after episode 4, because of course at the end, Monica's like, it's Wanda, it's all Wanda, doing this. People were cut because I did, like I said, I went back and watched Infinity War and Endgame, and people were like going off and blaming Clint. They thought he was like the one at fault because of course this is supposed to be like only a few weeks after and stuff, and people were like, well, why didn't someone offer to help her? And I'm like, all of the, like, you literally lost Tony Stark, Black Widow, Captain America literally went back to the past. Like, he wanted to grow old with Peggy. Like, you literally lost the three, like, more or less like OG Avengers right there. Thor went off with Guardians of the Galaxy because truthfully he didn't really know what he wanted to do at that point. He didn't want to be a ruler because he didn't feel like that was his true purpose. And I mean,
He just wanted to do his own thing.
yeah, he wanted to do his own thing. Like, he lost basically all his family, and he just kind of wanted to do something for himself for once. And of course, hopefully, like when the next Thor movie comes out, we'll get to see like Guardians of the Galaxy, because they're now looking for Gamora again, because
I think that'd be more of a Guardian of the Galaxy with
yeah.
Thor.
But like, of course, at Tony's funeral, we see Clint and Wanda are talking together, and because he's talking about Natasha, and he missed her, and he was like, well, I hope there's some way like she knows that like we won. And Wanda basically seemed like perfectly fine at the end of Endgame. Like, that's what is throwing me off, is I want to know what set her off to like have this happen, because at the end of Endgame we literally see her talking to Clint and she seemed perfectly fine. Like, they're all grieving in their own way, but like, I just want to know. But
It might not. What it could be, it might not even be, because we don't know right away. But it could just be speculation. She's like, she in her own world, in her own mind, that everything's okay, and she hasn't really fully grieved, which is why this is kind of happening too.
from like what I think they're gonna do is, with these like shows coming out and stuff, I feel like they're not gonna have like a ton of season. Like, I feel like if they have seasons, at most they'll do like 2 to 3. But I honestly feel like they're more gonna be mini series, because Marvel has done like TV like stuff, but not really in the sense of, well, Avengers and stuff. They've always done movies. So I think what they're doing is they're doing like these mini series to build up into like what's going to become the next movies that they do. And I honestly think that they're going to do X-Men, like they're going to do a new like X-Men, because from the theory so far with WandaVision, it's like been seen that they're possibly introducing House of M, which makes me think that they're possibly gonna like talk about Hope Summers slash, White Phoenix slash like Cable in Deadpool 2 and stuff. Like I feel like they're gonna find a way to like tie that in, even though it's not main MCU. I feel like because they've already like established him in Deadpool 2 and he's already mentioned Hope in the movie and stuff, and he's like my daughter Hope and blah blah blah. I feel like the MCU is going to find a way to make it part of the main universe and, find a way to like be like this is X-Men now. We're bringing X-Men into Avengers now. Like we want to see some like badassery happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And I think to go off of that, I think, obviously knowing that Marvel has acquired Fox, Fox had X-Men. Obviously, they didn't talk anything about X-Men being like a thing at all at the last conference they had, where they revealed this whole timeline of like, well, here's what Phase 4 is, and they revealed like, Doctor Strange, they revealed WandaVision, all the stuff we're seeing now, and then they revealed, Thor, Love and Thunder, and all of that. They revealed all that. They revealed the Blade, they revealed Moon Knight, and they all only revealed Blade with Mahershala Ali is gonna be like Blade now, which was like a huge thing. And then after that thing was over, they asked Kevin Feige, "What about X-Men? Like that's like the big thing." And he's like, "We have plans for X-Men, but we're not revealing them right now." Is like what he said. Like we're not revealing them, but like we're not like talking about that right now. So obviously, if this is the House of N adaptation that everyone's thinking it is, then it will most definitely reveal the X-Men. And if it is leading into the multiverse of madness for Doctor Strange, then that's more than enough that I need that X-Men is going to be a part of this thing. Two things.
I'm gonna be honest. I would really like to see that, and like I said with Deadpool 2, they had Cable like cues from the future and stuff. Obviously, like I read up about this. His daughter Hope isn't actually like his daughter. He took her in because she isn't even from the future. She was actually from the present. And so what and I mean, it's obvious Wanda's a mutant, so what I feel like they could possibly do is because she's a mutant, they can literally get the X-Men involved, with her because of how, she's coping with things. But I would personally love to see Hope in it because she's actually one of the strongest X-Men there is. She is an Omega level mutant. She has the ability to actually copy other mutants' powers.
Okay.
So I feel like
That's
it'd be
cool.
kind of cool if they brought her in because, in a sense, she could almost kind of like she could almost kind of get in Wanda's head and make her realize, like, dude, like this is over. Like you have to move on from it. Like you can't, hold on to these feelings and stuff because then they just are gonna consume you, and then you really are gonna become like a monster.
Yeah. There is 2 points I want to kind of point out here. I've watched each of these episodes twice. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I watched each of them twice over the past couple weeks, and I noticed something on my second watch through of 4. For my second point, my first point is I'm just gonna come out and say it. I don't think it's all Wanda.
I don't either. I don't think it's like I know they said that, but I don't think it's entirely.
I think that's a throw off point to like for a
I
lot of
think
people.
It's the Phoenix.
I think after episode 3, how Vision was kind of like asking them, like, because they were talking, he was talking with the neighbors, and Geraldine was there. Yeah, I think it is Agnes. I think it's Agatha. I think the witch. I think because she's over here like, don't say anything, don't tell him who we are, kind of thing. I feel like she's possibly the one doing this. Also, because in episode 4, they were all identifying who the people actually were in one like the show, and they literally could not find an ID card for her. She was the only one they
Yeah,
couldn't find.
that was gonna be my
So
second point.
yeah, I think that her, and then of course her husband, the villain dude, whatever.
Yeah, who we still haven't seen. Her
Yes,
husband.
I truly think that it's not entirely Wanda. I think it's them doing that, and that Wanda is, in a sense, she's trying to break free, but she is still kind of hung up on all these feelings from the past, losing people and stuff, that she doesn't completely want to break free. In a way, she almost feels like it's a safe space for her.
I don't think that's how it is actually. So here's
Oh.
my thought of it. I think Wanda made a deal with Agatha, and
Ooh.
that she made a deal because Wanda doesn't have this fortress around. Wanda's not putting up that fortress. Wanda is like in this thing. It's not all Wanda. I think what the only thing Wanda is doing is she's wanting to live through sitcoms. We don't know. I don't know why. That's another point of like what I'm trying to get at is that
Because
like
it's great. It's
no
sitcoms
one
are funny. That's
exactly
why.
sitcoms are funny. Sitcoms are family oriented. So maybe she's wanting the life that she didn't have with Vision, and that's like what she's getting in this hexagonal. Because that's one of the things on the whiteboard is what we don't know. Why is it hexagon? Like why is it a
Yeah.
hexagon shape? And so that's one thing is like I think she made a deal with Agatha to like make this thing happen, and so they went to a small town that doesn't exist somehow and made it a thing. But because we also get the information that this is the whole reason why this they started investigating it was because of a missing person. We don't know why it's a missing person, but that the no one knows what this town is. The missing person's like family and stuff doesn't even know who they are. So that's like all this amnesia is like going around and like they've never heard of this person. So it's like what it's not Wanda doing all that. That's somebody else controlling what's happening.
Yeah.
And so what I think is happening is that Wanda made a deal with someone, whether it be Agatha or Agatha's husband, who's the
I think
villain
it might
that
I think
everyone's
it
thinking
might be
about.
her husband, because he's literally like the villain that they're saying he is literally supposed to be the devil. So if you
Mm-hmm.
think about like
She made a
the
deal with the
phrase
devil.
making a deal with the devil,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the
but
devil's a real
in
person, so
yeah, in return for some form of consequence, whether it be like, she's gonna start to realize, hey, like maybe I don't want to be here, or whatever the case is, there's gonna be some consequence to it.
Yeah, and I mean that kind of comes out in this episode 4 as well, where she turns around, she sees Vision dead. She sees
Yeah,
the dead of like where the stone is pulled out of his head for like a quick second. You see it the whole time in the background whenever she's like looking at the babies and
dude,
after
it
blasting
gave
them
me
out. And I was
nightmares.
like, he doesn't have any color. Like when I first saw that, I was like, why doesn't he have color? And then she turns around and she sees him like that. I was like, what the fuck? So
Gave me
but
nightmares.
it's weird that it's at that moment where she blasts Geraldine out, and then he
Yeah,
comes in, and then that's when it's happening. But then she like blinks, and then he's back to normal. That's when I'm
yeah,
like, okay, so someone's manipulating that, and then we also see that what they are seeing, what everyone's seeing on the outside, they're getting the glitches that like they're not seeing like the what we've been seeing in the episodes. We see the glitches in the
yeah.
episodes, but there's even more of a glitch than what's going on. So that's also an interesting aspect I saw. But yeah, as a whole, and I was gonna quote the thing of like, if you look at the whole board that they have up, everyone that's identified, the only person isn't the neighbor who's been in every single episode. They've been able to
Yeah.
identify everybody else but the neighbor who's been like her next door neighbor in every episode. So,
Oh.
and we always talk about the husband that we still have never seen, and
And one thing I will mention too, because I agree with that, is like, because how you're mentioning how like after she pushed Monica out and stuff, um the I think it is Agnes doing the manipulation, because she's the one who pointed out to Vision in the first place, well, we've never seen this person before. She has no home, no family, no like anything. So I feel like she was doing that on purpose, as a means to like kind of manipulate Vision in a way, and be like, make it seem as if Monica's the bad guy when she's not.
Yeah, and like to like kick and to make sure like she doesn't come around like them or anything like that. But Wanda made sure of hell as that to not ever happen again by shooting her out. So
She's
I
like,
Mhm.
I
she
think
just looked at her like, "Who are you?"
yeah, and then that whole like and she looks surprised that she used her powers too. But
Yeah.
but also we get what we haven't seen also from episode 3 and episode 4 is when Vision comes back in. Obviously, we saw Vision be like, "Okay, that's kind of weird because she was in here a second ago and she's not." We get the close up after he comes back in and he's like, "What's wrong?" And he's like, "We can go anywhere." And then she says, "No, we can't. Like this is our home." And so saying that she's like trapped there because she made that deal, and this is the only place where he can become alive and be alive is what is the reason why I'm thinking. And the deal with the devil, like you're saying,
Yeah.
could be the reason why they're trapped there, because she knows that she can't leave this hexagon, because as soon as she does, like their life is over and he's not going to be there anymore. And but it's the thing of, what does he get out of it? What is the, so there's the one part of the deal of like Wanda's doing this, but what is the deal part of like why
I
he's
think
getting it? So
I think to me the whole like he like for him the advantage is that she truthfully is one of the strongest Avengers, if not like literally
Is
like the top
the
three.
strongest.
Yes,
Yes.
like
Yes.
she was truthfully one of the most underrated characters up until Infinity War, and then you see her in Infinity War, and she was the only one that could destroy an Infinity Stone. But not only do that, hold Thanos, who has the other 5 Infinity Stones, back while destroying the sixth.
Mhm.
Like that, like that is power. And the problem is she is still kind of young. Like they still like truthfully to the other Avengers, she's still just a kid.
Mhm.
So she hasn't really fully truly controlled her powers well enough to the point where she is like saying mentally I'm good enough for this. Like
Yeah. I mean,
she
she's in love with the robot. Okay.
she
I mean,
she
she's.
always doubted herself. Like
Okay.
she always would doubt herself, and you know she did that. Like I want to say it was in Civil War, like too. Like she obviously made a mistake, and then basically everyone started seeing her as a monster. So I think it's kind of like that is an advantage to him, is like like she is not fully mentally well,
Mhm.
and if she goes insane or she comes back to reality and is like, holy crap, like Vision's dead, all these other people are dead, like all these Avengers, like my friends are dead, like my brother's dead, like I feel like that would truly kind of make her go crazy, and she would probably like make people feel her wrath.
Yeah. My my last question on it is, do you think from here on out we're gonna be seeing now going back and forth between what's going on with Wandavision and then what's going on with the outside world?
So
Yeah.
Yeah, do you
I
think
think
now it's not just going to be one whole episode of WandaVision? It's going to be, we're going to go from the two different sides, because that'll
I
be an
think
interesting
so.
aspect, I think.
I think so because they're like, to me they're already introducing all these side characters from all the other movies. We have Darcy from Thor, we have Jimmy from Ant-Man 2, we have Monica from grown up Monica from Captain Marvel. They're finally making all these side characters like main characters now. So I feel like it's going to be, from here on out it's going to show them in the real like in reality trying to like do everything they can to bring Wanda back, but also figure out why it's happening.
Hmm.
And I also feel like they're actually going to like bring one of the like I feel like they're genuinely going to have a surprise like for one of the Avengers showing, like whether it's one of the Avengers show up or one of the other like characters from one of the other movies show up. I would personally like to see Captain Marvel show up because I think it would be a really good reunion
Hmm.
for, Monica and
Yeah.
her. And I feel like in a sense, Captain Marvel can kind of be seen as someone that could actually give good advice to Wanda in a way. Like I feel like when I watched Captain Marvel and then watched her like in Endgame and stuff, she seemed like a genuinely caring person. Like she wanted to help other people and stuff. So in a way, like I could see her being someone that, could help Wanda in a sense, almost kind of embrace her powers rather than, feel like she's a monster with them.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it'll be very interesting. Although I think the Avenger we're gonna see, obviously, because it links to it, Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah,
I
I
We're
mean that's
doing
already
it,
been
baby.
confirmed. That's already been confirmed. We
yeah,
already
I
know he's
think
gonna be in it.
I think throughout the rest of the episodes, they're going to do what most TV episodes do. Well, part of it will be WandaVision and the TV show, while the other will be the people outside eating popcorn, watching it, and trying to figure out a way to go
Yeah.
in. And if I were to put in a guest, I put in Quicksilver. Last episode, he gets in there, slaps someone, and be like, "What are you doing?" And then that's the last
So
episode.
my thing, like my theory is because like I said, they've already kind of like confirmed that Doctor Strange is gonna be on the show. Like
Mhm.
they've like it's been confirmed he was on set, but it was also seen that Evan Peters Quicksilver, like we're talking about X-Men, was seen on set as well. So I think in a way what they're gonna do is because it's only like because they had to go like in Endgame to get all the stones and stuff from like like the different years and like different realities. I feel like in a sense like Evan Peters like was around there at that time and he probably got like sucked in or something. And I don't know, Doctor Strange is gonna show up and he's gonna show up and he's gonna have his headphones on. Some freaking fun song is gonna be playing and he's gonna be like, wait, where am I?
I do gotta say, I do believe that just because of the fact that how they ended episode 4 was with like a hardcore like rock song, and it was like a.
Yeah. So
I
I
was like,
mean
oh shit, here we go.
I so what I think wouldn't so we see like when people go in to like when Monica went in and stuff, they obviously don't remember stuff, but Quicksilver literally could get in and get out, and I don't think it would affect him in any way.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so I feel like what they could do is they're gonna get Doctor Strange, but he's gonna happen to like know like I feel like in a sense he's gonna happen to either know the X-Men or come across them because of the fact that Wanda's a mutant and stuff. And so I feel like he's gonna get Quicksilver to be the one to like try to like get her out of it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just have to figure
Man.
out what happens on the next episode of WandaVision.
I
So,
really want to see him on there just because of like, of course, Days of Future Past and the what is it, Apocalypse. When he runs and he just puts his headphones on and he just has a song playing and he's just enjoying life, and I would love to see that.
Yeah. Oh man.
so,
Sounds like I gotta watch the show.
so
You do have to watch this show, Prom, because it is the first step of Phase 4, and I keep telling people this, and I don't think people understand it. This is going to be the next major step for Marvel. Like this is the movie right after Endgame, but it's just a TV show. So if you're a Marvel fan and you think like this is like another Agents of Shield where it doesn't matter, it's not that at all. It's the complete opposite. It matters to watch it. The first episode, I will admit, very very slow. It's very slow, but that's
I
why they
do,
released the first 2 episods with it. So
I
definitely
do
watch it.
have one
the first
idea.
episode's really good. I think it's great.
I think this
I
episode's better.
do have one idea or like one theory as well. Just because we did get Far From Home, Spider-Man Far From Home first,
Hmm.
and that one is supposed to be in the summer after Endgame. So that one's kind of already like ahead.
Yeah.
And this one, of course, is only 2 to 3 weeks and stuff. I feel like, in a sense, this also could tie into that because we're supposed to get, Spider-Man 3 is also supposed to connect to Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness and stuff. Um, I feel like in a sense, if they do this with WandaVision, they're gonna find a way to like tie it into Spider-Man Far From Home because of the ending of the movie where he got like outed,
Mhm.
as Peter Parker and stuff. I feel like in a sense that could also like tie in. It'd be kind of cool because they're kind of all off doing their own thing, and she's gonna come back to reality and be like, holy crap, like, we're in trouble. Spider-Man's been outed. I look like a monster, you know. Tony's dead. Like all. I
The
feel like
Avengers are gonna look really bad.
yeah, I feel like in a sense it's kind of almost like a repeat of Civil War, but not entirely. It's more of like, they didn't have to have someone like try to destroy them like without really doing anything. They kind of almost like destroyed themselves because, they should have in a sense been a little bit more careful, but also they should have spent more time together like grieving as a whole rather than all kind of on their own, because I feel like they would have become better as a team but also more of a family off that.
Okay, 1 second. Prom says, where can you watch WandaVision? It's not on Hulu. It's not on Prime. It's on Disney Plus. That's the only place you can watch it right now. He says, I'll watch it tonight, so definitely do that. You just gave me a brilliant idea about this, Lainey, and I know we've been continuing on about WandaVision and everything like that. I know we probably want to get on to get to something else.
There's something I'm gonna talk about.
So get off of that. What you just said, that it's another Civil War, which is what I have been thinking that they are going to do. X-Men are the good guys, Avengers are the bad guys. We're getting Avengers versus X-Men as the next
That's
Avenger
what I'm
movie.
getting the theory off of, is I feel like because they've already done it for so long with X-Men where they've looked like the bad guys and they've tried to make mutants look like the bad guys. And I feel like now it's kind of their turn to like twist it and make and it be like the downfall of Avengers this time. And they look like the assholes and X-Men look like they're the saviors kind of
Yeah,
thing.
because if the X-Men come into this and are like this new big like new thing where it's like, oh my god, they're better than the Avengers, then the
Yeah.
people will be against the Avengers, and then people would want the X-Men, and that's where it would have the clash. Yeah, obviously, there's probably going to be a different plot like thread to go through other than what I'm saying, but I think it's going to somehow clash in that where we're going to get Avengers versus X-Men, which was a huge comic book like arc. So
I want
introducing
actual
House of
heroes to die.
yes.
Yeah.
in that
That's
movie.
why I think they're introducing House of M, and I think because, like you said, Marvel acquired the rights to Fox and stuff. I feel like, after Deadpool 2, they won't, of course, necessarily take Deadpool into this because, he still is more R-rated, but I feel like they're gonna go off of what, happened with Cable,
Mm-hmm.
being kind of in the present, and then of course at the end, like Deadpool fixed his thing and stuff. I feel like Hope Summers is going to show up from the future, reunite with Cable, and then in the present, and they're gonna realize what's going on in the world because like I said, she's from the present. I know she like wanted to find her family and stuff, but I feel like this is almost like a really good opportunity for them to introduce White Phoenix because they've already had Dark Phoenix with
Weiss.
Jean Grey. So I feel like this would be a really cool opportunity for them to like introduce one of the strongest X-Men there is. The fact that she can literally mimic other mutants' powers. Imagine she like does that to Wanda and literally gets inside Wanda's head, and Wanda, after she already made this deal, she just truly goes freaking mad.
Yeah.
I think in a way that would unleash like Wanda's real power.
Yeah, man, there's so many possibilities here. Obviously, like with what's coming. We are. I mean, I wouldn't say halfway through. I mean, we're basically almost halfway through WandaVision as a whole for being 9 episodes. So we'll see what happens in the next coming weeks. Obviously, Friday we get the new episode. We'll either be here Saturday or Sunday as usual. Calcifer in the chat says, "Hey Jacob, my toaster keeps burning my cinnamon toast crunch. Can you help me calibrate it?"
Why are you putting cinnamon toast crunch in a toaster?
That is
Trying to toast it.
That's a different problem, Bub. This isn't a podcast about helping you fix things. This is the real baloney podcast.
Too high.
We do talk about random things, but that's a technical problem. So
So there is one. We're done. done with WandaVision.
Okay, you
You can
gotta
come
take
back.
that. You gotta take
listen.
that. Spoilers are done for WandaVision, everybody. Good
So,
job.
so on the last episode of the Real Baloney
Oh, here we go.
podcast,
I know exactly what you're saying.
Josh, the character Josh, the person Josh, he was talking about Game of the Year
Talking about third person.
2020. We never got to continue that, and we didn't get to do it last week because we were on like a week hiatus. Shit happens, but now I want to talk about it. 2020 Game of the Year. What is your guys' Game of the Year, and why is The Last of Us 2 a terrible Game of the Year? It was bad. Should not have been Game of the Year.
You're bad, bro. Get out of here.
So,
Okay, first, no. Josh brings the question, so Josh answers it first. Sorry, lady, I'm gonna cut you off because I want to hear what he has to say. And if it's not Final
No, I
Fantasy
wanna
VII
hear it
over
too.
Last of Us, you're wrong. All right, let's hear. What is it?
I want to hear it.
Ghost of Tsushima.
I'm dead. Just why? Why is it Ghost
Great
of
game.
Tsushima?
Are you kidding me?
You said
The
you asked us
story's
why, so I'm
the
asking you why.
game's great. It's just, to me, I'm the type of person who likes that type of setting. I
Mhm.
like old rule Japan. You know, get the sword, kill people, hack, slice them and dice them. It's overall a good story. I enjoy the pacing of everything. I just enjoy the game. Really good. But The Last of Us 2.
Okay, well, we'll get to that. Cause that's obviously mine. I've been preaching this for a long time. Also, Calsper in the chat says Ghost of Tsushima is boring. It's like Shadows of Mordor. You just press X. Wow, samurai gameplay. I'm hella good, yo. Jeez, roast.
Hey man,
Oh my
I
god.
like pressing the X button.
There is no cooking segment, by the way, Calsper. Yes, when's the cooking segment? So.
No, that'll be next episode.
Yeah.
I
We'll
wanna
just
get to
bring some eggs in here or something. All right, Lainey, go ahead. What's your game of the year? What you been playing last year?
Oh gosh, I haven't really played anything new, but I mean, well, okay, like the only two like new games I even like bothered playing was Phasmophobia and Among Us.
Here we go.
I'm not gonna lie, they're both super fun because I'm like a casual gamer. I don't like feel the need to like do competitive gaming, and these were like the two perfect games for me. Phasmophobia in the sense that I'm a huge like Ghost Adventures fan. So having a game out that like finally lets you do that stuff is like awesome. Plus like it's not like super scary, but honestly, it does put you on on edge a little bit. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of once like almost pissed myself when I had a demon hunting me and I was alone in the house, and no one told me that they left me alone in the house in the attic.
alone in this house. You're alone
Yeah,
in this
so
house.
uh, I will say there are still some like issues with the game. I don't really recommend playing it in VR because like for people who already deal with motion sickness and stuff, like it's already pretty bad, but for me, I don't normally deal with motion sickness, and after playing that game once on VR, I vouched like to myself that I would never play it again on VR because I was so sick to the point where I had a headache for or like a migraine for upwards of like 4 hours after getting off of it, and I threw up.
Oh Jesus Christ.
So yeah, don't play it in VR and you'll have a good time. I mean, like you can still like try it out. Like it's still like you can get some funny content playing on it in VR because like when you're moving and stuff, it's even like 10 times funnier. But like overall, it's not that like fun to play on VR. Among Us. Among Us is interesting. If you get a good lobby, you will have fun. I've luckily for the most part gotten pretty good lobbies in their Discord server. But if you're not careful and you get 14-year-old incels trying to hit on you and then call you a pedophile, well,
Oh my god.
no. Like I feel like with Among Us, you already have to have like an established group of friends that you play with.
Definitely.
Otherwise, if you play it in the Discord server with randoms, it can either go really well where you get really lucky and you have some pretty chill people, which I've had, but it can also go another way where it's basically more toxic than League of Legends and Valorant combined.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
no, you're definitely not wrong. I've been in a
I
couple of those lobbies.
I've had some pretty crappy experiences ranging from guys like rage quitting, like people like my imposter buddies rage quitting because they didn't like something I did or whatever, and I'm like, it's a game. Like who really takes it that seriously? Like it's a game that's meant to be in a sense, chill, relaxing, like fun, but it's also like murder mystery. Like you
Yeah.
have to like use your powers of persuasion to let people know if
Well,
you're an imposter or not. But I've had
well,
some shitty lobbies.
Yeah.
well, I would put that game. I would put that game as game of the year, if not only it, if it would have came out that year for 2020,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it didn't, unfortunately.
Yeah, so Calcifer over here in the chat just wants to like shit on everyone's like idea, and I mean even mine. I'm pretty sure if I say it, once I say it, he's gonna
What's
be.
his game of the year? Final
He
Fantasy
says
VII.
he says Final
That game
Fantasy,
was
but
already made out.
yeah, he says those aren't games; those are social experiences. How is nobody talking about bug snacks? Because I was
Because
stouting.
Bug Snacks.
I don't even know
I
what
gotta
that
say,
is.
I was stouting Bug Snacks for being like it was gonna be a great game. I played a little bit of it on my stream, and I'm like, okay, this is a thing that like I overhyped for myself, and I don't even want to play it. So
Even know
Bug
what that
Snacks
is.
not a bad game, but it's not like game of the year.
yeah,
And
well,
when it
because
comes down to Bug Snacks, it barely came out at the end of the year. So when games come out at the end of the year, they're not going to get as much like
Yeah.
recognition
I mean,
for game of the year.
yeah, because it came out with the PlayStation 5. It launched same day PlayStation 5, but um I was like all about that game, and the creator even came out and was like these four images are what I think Bug Snacks is, and he put like BioShock on there, and I was like, bro, if this game is like has some BioShock esque shit in it, like I'm down. But it's not that at all, and I was like, I was very let down. I wasn't scared at all. I was like, that'd be so cool if it was like this cute, cuddly thing, and then like inside of it's just this like dark. It's like, what the fuck is going on, like sort of thing. But it's not. He also says, like, honestly, who was on this show? These are my friends. How dare you?
This guy?
He's just joking around though. Like I've known him since high school. He's just joking around. But he's like, now you're gonna tell me that cat shit is nutritionally sound. Real talk. Half-Life Alex is game of the year, which that was a I still haven't played it, but I've heard amazing things about it. I've seen people play it. He says
You know what
Final
the real
Fantasy
game
VII
of the
second.
year is? You know, real game of the year is
What?
Super Mario Bros. 2.
Everyone.
Anyway, so what's your game of the year? What's your game of the year?
Let me just read this chat real fast and I'll get to it. All right. I'm sorry. It's almost done. It's almost done.
Final Fantasy.
It's everyone forgets Half-Life Alex. It came out in March. Prom got Disney Plus from our recommendation. There we go, baby. Dabs in the chat. Random Among Us be like, hey, what's your Insta? Like, bro, go to a dating app, you loser.
Oh, it's so insane. I actually did have a chat. I wasn't the one who had to deal with it, but I did feel bad for the girl who did have to deal with it. There was like a 14-year-old dude like hitting on her and asking
Oh
for her
man.
snap, like asking for her snap, and she made it like obvious she was 19, like she was older. She already said like, and she like he didn't say his age till after anyways, but she kept telling him no, and basically like he took it so personally that he just resorted to like fat shaming her and calling her all these names.
Oh my god.
And the funny thing was she wasn't even fat at all. Like she was really pretty, but he was just like a 14-year-old incel with,
Oh my
a small
Kids doing what
brain.
kids
god.
do.
It's like
Kids
Xbox
doing
Live
what kids
chats,
do.
like back in the
Oh,
day.
those
you know?
were worse.
Yeah,
Those were
like-
way worse.
That's a way.
Those
No,
are
no, 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 no,
way
no.
worse.
What made it better was there was someone in the chat who recorded the whole entire thing. It was like 30 minutes of it, And when the mod, like the dude kept leaving and he was like, I don't care if I get banned, blah, blah, blah. And then he left.
Man.
As soon as a mod came in, he came in and tried to lie and like change his story and said we were bullying him.
Oh,
And so
jeez.
the other guy posted the 30-minute clip on YouTube for the mod to see. And I mean, that thing was like absolutely like beautiful. It was just like a train wreck for him, but it was, my absolute dream come true for, me.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's
So,
freaking.
what's your game of the year, Jake?
Also, Calcifer did say, "I'm joking." By the way, he just wants to clarify that.
No,
He's
I
like,
know.
he's like, don't read my chat. I'm shittier. So it's so. My game of the year, Josh. I don't know why you're shitting on it so bad. It's game of the
Last
year.
of Us 2.
Last of Us 2,
terrible.
baby.
It's bad.
I'm gonna put this up because
Played it.
I am gonna spoil it a little bit here because so Last of Us 2 Last of Us Part 2 spoilers for anyone who hasn't played it. You said you haven't
Anyone
played it,
who
Lainey?
cares.
I have not.
Yeah, do you
I
care
haven't
for
played it
spoilers? Are you
either.
good?
I don't mind.
Wait, you haven't played it, Josh?
No, I haven't
Get the
played
fuck out! Why'd you bring up this conversation? Then what the
it.
fuck?
Why am I bringing it? Okay, because I know about the story. I don't have to play the game to
Okay.
know the story.
Yes, you do. That is what people don't
No.
understand. Oh my God,
You know, it
you're
should
part
be-
of. You are part of the problem, Josh. You are what
I am
made
part of
this
the
game a problem.
Hold on.
Oh.
I am part of the problem. I know.
Woo! You got anger, Jake.
I'm a part of every problem. I was part of the problem in the Among Us community. You know how when people said, "Oh, green guy, he's sus." Put him on. That was me. I did that. Remember, Jacob, when we played with 3 imposters, you were like, "Hey, this guy's an imposter." Put him out. He was an imposter. We did that. I know. I'm part of the problem.
I was gonna
But guess
say-
what?
Y'all want to
I know
hear
it's a
what I
bad
think
game.
should be game of the year? And it's not even. It's been out, but it was just the week alone off of Epic Games promotion. Star Wars Battlefront 2 has gained 19 million new players in just a week of free promotion for the game.
Well, yeah. I mean, wouldn't you get a free game if
It's
it was
free.
free?
The game is fun in general, but like that.
I
like,
got Battlefront for
that-
free on my PlayStation when it
that
came out,
was
and I played it like a couple times.
No, like it is so. This is like not like the original. It's like the legendary edition or something, like the newer version of
Yeah.
it. And let me tell you, it is so much fun. I love it. It's not free anymore, so if you haven't gotten it, well, sucks suck.
Yeah, I got it free on my PlayStation as well, but
But I got
I
it
mean,
free on my computer because I was like, holy crap, I remember them announcing it and I was like, no way, no way they're doing this for free. They had it for free, sure enough, and I was like, oh, I'm copping that.
okay. I'm gonna try to be as calm as I can about this, alright? Because I've been on a lot of forums. I've been all over Twitter when this happened. Let me just say something about The Last of Us Part 2, okay? Last of Us Part 2 is a great game, okay? And people can say it's I see Prom over here saying, I hate how The Last of Us 2 had great game mechanics, but the story was a little weak in his opinion. Totally get that. I can see why people, don't like Last of Us 2 because of the choices it makes. So Last of Us 2 got leaked like months before it came out. There was like videos and I don't know if it was videos, but I know pictures got leaked of
No, it
certain
was a
characters.
video of the entire story. The entire story was spoiled for everyone before the game even came out.
So I never saw that. I saw a warning tweet that was like, "Hey, watch out! There's Last of Us 2 leaks. We don't know what's real, what's fake. A couple of them were fake. A couple of them were real. So it was like split between them." I didn't see any of that. I went in blind because I was like, I'm not letting anything spoil this game because I really looked forward to it for the last couple of years. They do an amazing job at this story. They tell an amazing story from start to finish. Obviously, people thought it was going to go one way. Obviously, they thought they were going to kill Ellie's girlfriend, but that's not what happens. Spoilers again for right here. This is spoilers for Last of Us 2, so if you're going to play it. If you're not, this is what I have to say about it. So 3, 2, 1, you're in for the long run of it. They killed Joel. They killed the main character of the first game, which you learn to grow and love, and you're like, why would you make this decision? After they do that, people dropped off this game. I just want to say
yeah.
people drop off this game and they're like, I'm putting down the controller. Why would I
Well, here,
why would I do this?
let me tell you why people
No.
would do that. Can
No,
I
no,
tell you
no,
why
no,
real
no,
quick?
no.
Okay,
Okay.
fine. I'll let you go.
Because I have a lot to say about this. Has been built up because I haven't been able to really talk to like my friends and stuff about it. But I have, but I just want to say, in other people's eyes, if you look at The Last of Us as not just one character, if you look at it from not just Joel's character, and you look at it from a whole picture as a whole, anybody can be a bad guy. Anybody can be a bad guy in this universe, okay? From what we experience as Joel, we're like, oh, we're the good guy. We're saving Ellie. Like, she can be a cure, but, you know, whatever. And there's so much into this. There's so much stuff with that decision that fucks up so much stuff in this story. So you look at it, he is a bad guy. If you look at it from the other side, he is a bad guy. And then when we get through halfway through the game and the people who dropped off after Joel dies, and you're like, well, and then you keep playing, and then you get to the midway point in the game. And you know exactly what I'm talking about if you've seen this. The midway point of the game, you switch. You go back to day one of Seattle after hunting these people down who killed Joel. And you switch to the character that has survived all this and who originally killed Joel in the first place. You play as her. They do the switch and bait. And they do, I think, in my opinion, they do such an amazing job with putting you in her shoes and being like, he killed my dad, and what reason do I see for that? He just killed he did it because he wanted to save this girl that wasn't his daughter, and that maybe, she doesn't have any of that background. We have all that background as people who have played this game. And so we go on this journey with Abby over the next 3 days that we just played it with Ellie. We know where Ellie's at during all this. Now we're finding out what happened with Abby and what her backstory is with all this and all the nightmares she's had and all the revenge she's had pent up. So it's an amazing game. I think, in my opinion, amazing game, amazing storytelling. They do such a great job with manipulating, hey, Joel wasn't the good guy in this game. You played him, and you may have think he made all the right decisions, but that was because you were seeing it from his point of view. Now see it from this person's point of view.
Okay, well, let me tell you. Do you know what other game has where anybody could be good, or not even game, but what game/show has that, where everyone could be the good guy, everyone could be the bad guy? What's that zombie show that was on AMC that everyone doesn't watch anymore?
Walking
Dead. It's bad. Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest.
Anybody could be good and bad. Look, when it comes down to Joel, right? Why people fell off? Because Joel's a good character. He's like, gotta save this girl because my daughter died, and she's like a daughter to me, and I love her. Yeah. Cool, I understand that. You don't kill off the main character before he's in the game.
He wasn't the main character though. Ellie is the main character throughout Last of Us. Why is this Last of Us 1 happening? Because we're escorting Ellie. Ellie has always been the main character. People don't understand that.
No. She's the main focal point. You don't play as her all the time.
You play as her in the first one though.
No, I'm not saying you don't. I know. I've seen the game. I played a little bit of it. You do.
You played a little bit.
Ellie. Of the first one, not the second one. No, you do play as Ellie when Joel's all hurt, but then who do you go back to? You go back to Joel. Joel's the main character. Ellie's the main catalyst of the story. So when you go into 2, how you do that, what I would have done, you keep Joel in there, play as him a little bit, then he gets popped beginning of the game. That doesn't happen. It's just Joel's dead. Ellie's all grown up. No, he's in love with the woman, and it's like, what the fuck?
You do play as Joel, though.
You don't just do that.
You play as Joel at the very beginning of this game. You play as Joel.
You do. Okay.
How long? You ride on a horse
For...
into the town, but you get the backstory of what's happening. He never told. Okay. You get every, because it's weird how they play this out, because they showed you the trailer of like The Last of Us were in their like that dance hall, which is actually the night before he dies, which is like. And you don't get that scene until the very end of the game. Which is crazy to me. But then you find out what happens after that. Is that, she had an argument with him the night before, and she tells him like she doesn't ever want to talk to him. And like she that wasn't the night before. There was a time where she went back to Seattle to like go back to the hospital and see what happened, but everybody was gone. And then that's when he tells her, I saved you. And she's like, that wasn't your decision to make. I made my decision. I wanted to die to save everybody else, but you didn't let that happen. So again, this is me trying to tell you and trying to explain that Joel was the bad guy. He made a decision off of his own fruition. And obviously, in The Last of Us 1, you don't get the choice to either save her or let her die.
He's not a good guy or a bad guy. It's a moral dilemma.
Exactly.
There's no good guy. All of it's gray.
And that's exactly the point. And that's what they were trying to make with The Last of Us 2. Is that there's a gray point.
But what I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is, how are they just gonna kill him? Like, how long did you get to play as Joel?
You get to play as Joel for honestly like probably 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes at most.
Okay.
Well, shoot, that's depressing.
Yeah.
But
should have made it longer.
No, okay, and that's the thing is that if you did play as Joel for longer, what would have been the point? What would have been like? Because obviously we knew people knew going in you were gonna play as Ellie this game. Everyone knew you're gonna play as Ellie because that's what they showed. That is what they were showing.
Yeah.
So
if they're gonna show it, everyone's gonna expect it.
Yeah, but no. So why are you expecting that you're gonna play as Joel? What would be the point of playing as Joel in this game?
To pass off the torch from one person to another.
But that doesn't make any. But that doesn't make a difference, though. It doesn't make any. It doesn't make a difference, though. If you play as him or not, you passed off the torch from the first game. You played him for a whole game.
Well, no. The reason why I'm saying that is so people would actually be interested in playing the game that played the first one. That was like, yo, Joel died. Well, then. I'm fucking done.
But then
that's
again,
what I'm saying about that.
Again, you get that at the beginning. You get him doing that. You get to play as him. Like obviously, you don't get to do a whole like action sequence and everything. Yeah, 5 minutes and stuff. But
exactly.
But it's this whole journey.
So you just walk. You walk with him with the horse and the character, and that's all his gameplay. And everything else is moving.
Because he has
locked in the head.
He has the moment with his brother also that like that he's tuning this guitar to give to Ellie, and he. It's this emotional thing that he's like, I'm never gonna tell Ellie it's not that they didn't need her. It's just that I killed everybody that was in there to save her. I'm not gonna tell her that. And it's his decision to do that. It's his decision to do that.
Because that's his own burden.
Exactly, and that's his burden to hold. But then she finds out because she's curious and she knows something was fucked up. And so we get all that, we get everything, and you go through this whole story of thinking that the last thing Ellie told him was, I never want to talk to you again, and that I hate you, and all that. And then towards the very, very end, we get the scene of where it's the night before he dies, and it's after the whole where he punches the guy, and where Joel punches the guy in the face because he like is saying something about Ellie and Dina being in like a lesbian relationship, or something like that, because he's a homophobe. For some reason, he's like, oh, yeah, I'm drunk and I don't approve of this. And Joel's like, boom, a punch in the face.
Because he was a dad, he wouldn't want that. And not only that, it's just like, hey, man, we got to save the human race.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
And then so he sticks up for Ellie, and Ellie's like, I didn't ask you to do that. And then she leaves or whatever. And then, he leaves and then goes out. And then we get the scene of the last scene where it's Joel and Ellie at Ellie's house, and Joel's there and he's talking to her, and he said he's sorry, and he goes on this whole speech and everything about why he feels bad about it now and like why he made the decision. And so it's an understanding moment. And then he gives the sorry, I know I'm rambling, guys, I'm sorry, but I'm just trying to explain this in a manner of going about things. But she basically like finally forgives him, and so she's like, I think she says, I can't forgive you, but I'm going to try. Like, I'm going to try and start to do it. And then the next day, that happens. So that's why she's out for revenge. A lot of people had a problem also about Ellie's revenge story and why she doesn't kill Abby at the end of it. And why she doesn't, like, kill Abby after all this has gone on. And it's because she finally figures out that it's just a cycle. It's the same cycle. Abby went on a revenge story to get Ellie. And then once Ellie found that out after everything that happens with Abby doesn't feel good about it. Abby was like wanted to be done with this situation. Like after she did it, she's like, I don't feel good about this. And she felt bad after doing it. And she and wanted to go away from the wolves because she's like, these are bad people. I don't like what they're doing. They're horrible.
Oh yeah, I know shit.
Yeah, and then we have the apostles, which you have the trans character that is Lib, I think was her name, or Live. Yeah, it was a I forgot which way it was going, but it was a trans character that was introduced, and now she's the protector. Abby's the protector of her I believe. Sorry if I'm getting that wrong. I'm just like trying to remember. It's been like months since I've seen it, but and like she protects her, and then they go off to find the Fireflies again, and then they get captured, and then we have the whole where we switch back to Ellie months later because she's like, I'm gonna go again and get her, like, because we didn't kill her the first time. And it's this cycle that you see going on, and I think Ellie finally realizes it when she's like finding her, I'm about to kill Abby, that if we keep doing this, it's just a cycle. It's just gonna keep on being revenge. So she stops, and she also in that moment remembers the conversation she had with Joel on the porch. And then that's right. And then after that scene, we get the conversation she had with Joel, where she's gonna forgive him, and and then you look back of what she's lost, and Joel taught her the End of Days song or whatever, I forgot, on the guitar, and that's the song she always plays. But during the game and during this fight, she loses two of her fingers, and she can't play that song anymore. So not only did she lose Joel, she lost this gift that Joel gave to her, and she can never play the guitar again. And why that's so fucked up that you're laughing. It's like such a strong moment, but like she can't play the song that he taught her. So it's like it's such a big moment, and so she cut her losses basically is what she's doing, and then we see her walk away, put the guitar down, walk away, and onto like whatever it is. I don't think there's gonna be a part 3. I think if it's going to be Last of Us, it's going to be something else. I agree. I don't think there should be a part 3. I think it's open-ended to... Because some people say she's going back to Dina and to find Dina and go apologize and like be like, I'm done. Or she's going to go off and do her own thing and like be a loner for the rest of her life. And I think that's up to whatever you think it is. So,
well, for the time being, I don't think it should be Game of the Year. I'm going to look more into the story so I can argue back and be like, give all these counter... Because I can't do that right now. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
The reason why I can't argue is because I don't know any of the story.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I'll argue back. I'll come back and argue with you later. But anyone that says Final Fantasy VII should is Game of the Year, well, guess what? That game had already came out in the 1990s. So guess what? That's just a remake.
It is different though. It's a remake, but it is different. There are some different aspects and new characters in it. So, I mean,
but guess what? It's still the same fucking game.
We don't know that because there's got to be a part 2, so we don't know if it's gonna end the same.
If it doesn't end the same, then it shouldn't be called Final Fantasy VII. It should be like 7.5.
Oh, okay.
It's
like Kingdom Hearts, basically.
Or 6.99, something like that.
Yeah, and then Prom over here says that makes no difference. Playing more Joel just would have made people more mad. Which
exactly. Well, no, it would have made it more dramatic, though, in my opinion. If you play through Joel through a good part of it, and then you just like. That's with any character. If the main character gets popped, then it's like, well, why the fuck did he get popped? Like it's a complete shock.
Yeah.
Especially if you know you're not going to play as him, well then, and that's the reason why people play the game. Then it's like you're losing already a good amount of people who are already mad. They're already mad about like a lot of the stuff that has to do with the story that I don't want to get into.
Yeah. With
issues, but like. A lot of the people just, if like, it's like Metal Gear Solid 2. People were pissed that you couldn't play as Solid Snake. Play as Raiden. People don't like that. So guess what they did? Metal Gear Solid 3, everything else, you get to play as Snake. Because people were so pissed. But, if you would have played as Snake, which you do in Metal Gear Solid 2, you play with him for a bit. I mean, it still didn't matter. But if you got to play him more, and then, it switched it up, That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is the reason why you would have had more people play it and more people invested in it is if you were to, play a person more that you like, that character who brought you into that franchise. If you get to play with them more and then, eventually just dead, or you switch over to, Ellie like they did in the first one where you switched over after he got hurt. I mean, they could have done something like that where you switch over to Ellie and then like she tries to help, but guess what? He gets killed, and then the rest of the story is the revenge to her.
Yeah.
That's all I'm
Understand.
saying.
Yeah, and I totally understand that. I think they made the decisions because they, it's not that they wanted to piss a whole bunch of people off. They wanted to be different, and they made different choices than they did in the first one. Like you're saying, they could have just done the Ellie Joel switch thing again, like from the first one, but that's not being innovative. That's like being the same thing. And if they did that, that's kind of like, okay, that's a easy way out of doing it.
Well, I mean, I guess, but is it really that much of a big deal if they use that same aspect that they did in the last game?
It's
a
not,
lot
but
of
then
games
people
reuse assets.
Yeah, it's
Well,
not, but
this
then
is
they
every
improve
game.
on it
That's
sometimes. So
well, that's with every game though. Like Call of Duty is the same exact game, and people are pissed off about it. And then when they do change it, guess what? People are even more pissed off. You can't please anybody with anything. I mean,
no.
these types of games like Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us 2, Spider-Man. I mean, more of those games are more story. Those games are more
Spider-Man.
story driven than they are about the actual gameplay mechanics. If that makes any sense. You can have little to dog shit gaming mechanics. I mean, people will still get mad.
Spider-Man was actually like one of the most successful like games to come out, like honestly. And the fact that like not only do they have that, but like they literally made a animated movie, having Miles Morales and stuff. Like they already have an animated movie out and stuff. Now they're doing a live action, like basically Into the Spider-Verse. So like, I mean, it's obvious the game was successful because they had to like take some inspiration off of it, to actually like do the rest.
But my main point is those are story-driven games, so the gameplay shouldn't really matter too much. I mean, they did that with Grand Theft Auto 6, where you constantly would switch players in between stuff. Or 5, sorry, I don't know why I said 6. Because 6 needs to come out.
Yeah.
I'm thinking in the future. But they did that with Grand Theft Auto 5. That wasn't that big of it. They're going to do it with 6.
I honestly love that aspect of Grand Theft Auto 5, so...
But I'm just saying, like, they did it with the 1. You were able to switch.
Yeah.
And then, like, I don't see the big deal. It's
but that was different, though. That was something different that they had never done in a different Grand Theft Auto, so...
No, I know, which was different for when they did that with, The Last of Us.
Yeah, and then...
No game has really had that.
And then the rumor of Grand Theft Auto 6 is that it's going to be a female protagonist, and people have gotten mad about that. So, what was that, Josh? Why you don't like that change? Whoa! What do you mean?
The reason why I don't want it because it needs to be people creating their own characters as the main character. That's what it should be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've always
male or female.
No, and I'm not saying that, but I was saying that from an aspect of like you're saying like why do they need to change anything? And it's like now they're changing something again to something different. So.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't please everybody.
Yeah. Exactly.
You can't. So no matter what change you're going to do, I'm just saying if it fits the narrative, why change a gameplay? If you have this idea and you had used previous gameplay mechanics in the past and it worked successfully, why change that to fit the narrative of a different just to appease people who care about the game mechanics? I'm just saying the Sony games that they're making now, that what games that they're making are more story driven than they are gameplay games. Yeah. If you want gameplay games, you're gonna play typically, kind of a third person shooter, like a Bloodborne. You're gonna want to play those types of games because those are more gameplay than they are story. Yeah. If you're gonna play a Sony type game, like even the new God of War, they're gonna be more story specific than they are gonna be, gameplay. Yeah. That's just how it is.
That's my game of all time, just by the way. So.
It's a really good game.
It's so good.
My favorite games are games that are more story oriented than they are like gameplay. Like it could take me like 3 hours to play my favorite game, but the story's like a whole fucking day and a half.
Yeah, I will say, Josh, I haven't finished it, but I did like Ghost of Tsushima as well. I love the music. I love the atmosphere of it. I'm still on the first island to kind of tell you where I'm at. It's just like I've been like finding everything because I'm one of those people who like I don't do the main story. I'll do like all the side missions, and so like when I see someone, I'm like, oh, they're waving me down, and they're like, I heard this story about someone and someone. I'm like, oh, that's awesome, and then it gives me on the map where I need to go, and I go there. And so I haven't gone off the first island. So
I mean, when it comes down to when I play a game,
mm-hmm.
I always do the story first.
Yeah.
And if I do a second run through, I always try to do everything else on the second run through because I want the whole story 1st.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the side stuff it's not typically crucial for most games.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, it helps. It definitely helps.
Yeah. To me, it's like it's what we feel with movies
with story,
and like with everything with the anime that we were talking about. It builds the world that you're in, and that's what makes it more fun to play in my aspect of it. So.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Like when I would play, because my favorite game series is Metal Gear Solid of all time. My favorite series. It's super fascinating. It's weird. It's just great. Overall I like it.
Mm-hmm.
So like in that type of game, like the most you can do for you don't have side quests in Metal Gear Solid games up until the 5th one, the newest one that was released. Then you could do side stuff. But all the other ones that I played, typically what you're doing is you're playing through the full game,
mm-hmm.
and then you replay it. What I would do, because my favorite one's the 3rd one, the best one, greatest one. I don't care what anybody says. It is the greatest
Snake Eater
game. Snake Eater, yeah. The reason why I play that game a lot is because there are other stuff that you can get in that game that are collectibles
mm-hmm.
that once you keep, like you can unlock them.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can unlock all sorts of camos, all sorts of stuff, and that's why I would replay it. Not for the story. I've already did the story. I'm just replaying it because I think the game's funny. I can throw snakes at people. There are many different ways of killing people, and I find that fun. Plus, I want to get all this stuff so I can say, "Hey, I 100% in that game."
Yeah. Well, man, and over here, Prom says the Order 1886 2, baby. Gameplay and story was great for the first one. Okay, Snake Eater was the best, is also what he says. All right.
Greatest of all time.
Well, Laney, I feel like you were totally out of that conversation, and I feel
so
so
no,
bad.
I was paying attention.
Okay.
I was definitely paying attention.
So, what's your favorite game of all time to kind of end this off?
What's like
Oh god.
All time.
All time?
Not game or game series. It doesn't either.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me. Because games could fluctuate. Because you could have a different type of game, but like, what's your favorite game series?
Yeah.
That they've made consistent a lot.
I'd probably say like Borderlands, to be honest.
That's a good series.
Really
like people kind of sleep on Borderlands a little bit. Like you don't hear about it as much as like you used to. But honestly, those games get slept on so much. They are so fun to play. I'm a little disappointed with the live action casting, not gonna lie. And I was actually gonna bring that up too. Yeah, they cast Kevin Hart as Roland, which I mean he's like 5'4" and Roland's like 5'11".
Oh Jesus Christ.
Maybe
That's
taller. So to me it was kind of felt like a joke a little bit because when you find out they're gonna do live adaptations of like video games or things that you love, it's like you really want to like make sure that whoever's doing it is still like they're kind of making their own, but they're still for the most part being really true to what the games have and like the storyline. And I feel like they didn't really do that. I feel like that casting was kind of a joke when they could have they had like so many other potential people for the role that would have been perfect for it. I'm really hoping they have Claptrap though, because
that needs to be
Josh freaking Gad.
Oh my
Josh
God.
Gad needs to be Claptrap. It's already like mentally like imprinted in like my brain. Like he needs to be Claptrap. I can just hear his voice, that annoying, like in a sense, kind of annoying ass voice, just doing Claptrap perfectly. I saw quite a few like of the like fan
Danny DeVito as
fan
Claptrap.
cast. And like as far as I know for Jack, like everyone wants to see Ryan Reynolds be
That makes sense.
handsome Jack. And I could see it. Like
Yes.
I can see why, because he's like, you know, he's like the perfect person for it. Like the sarcasm, the comedic effect, but also still kind of an asshole. Like
Yeah, well,
it would work.
Handsome Jack is the greatest part of the series, especially
Yes.
Borderlands 2. Like, Borderlands 1 was okay, but when he was like in Borderlands 2, when like you could hear him just give off like all his voice lines or like his dynamic, his charisma, he is one of the greatest villains in video game history. Just because of like how much of an ass he is, and his sarcastic tone is just beautiful.
That's
So
why
I
I
would
like,
love to see him.
yes, like I agreed with every like Reddit post, everyone that I saw like saying like they wanted to see him as Handsome Jack. I was like, yes, hands down. I think he would be like the perfect person for the role. I feel like he would do that role justice.
I totally agree with that.
So I want to ask real quick. I want to take a peek under the curtain. How long have we been recording, Jacob? Because we the reason why, because we missed last week, so we wanted to do a lot more for this episode.
It might have been a while, I have a feeling.
We have been recording for I've been on Twitch. Well, I mean, let's just say recording. We've been recording for an hour and 45 minutes. 46 now.
Oh, okay, so it's a typical.
I kind of figured. Figured.
It's not too bad. It's not like crazy. Yeah.
There is one last topic I do want to talk about this.
Okay.
And I was talking to Jacob earlier before we started. I was talking about Demon Slayer. We were talking about anime. We were talking about Demon Slayer.
Oh, here we go.
We were talking about Dragon Ball Z. Talking about a lot of stuff. Lainey, what's your favorite anime?
Oh no. Oh god. Mine is it's a little like effed up.
No, that's fine. No, go for it. No
I mean,
judgments
I'm
here.
not saying like it's effed up in the sense like because it's a favorite of mine, but it's more like it'll make you like bawl your eyes out like
Is it
every
Boku no
episode.
Pico?
Oh my god.
I was gonna say that, but I was like, fuck.
We're gonna get demonetized.
I'm just joking.
No. It's actually on Netflix. It's only one season. It's actually based off a book.
I know what it is.
It is called. You do, huh?
I do.
What
I never watched it because I don't care to ball my eyes out. So.
I feel like he might know it, but I
Is
feel like
it-
he might be wrong.
You want me to guess?
Go ahead.
Is it Your Lie in April?
No.
Oh, okay, that was that one. Oh,
So
what is it?
this one was actually from last year. It's actually still fairly new. If you guys haven't seen it, it's called Japan Sinks 2020. It is like the absolute saddest shit you could watch. Literally, just right off the get-go on episode 1, you will like sob. The whole idea is that, of course, there is an earthquake in Japan, and it was like a really really bad one, and it's kind of following like a family and stuff, or like it follows a girl. She was like a track runner and stuff, like really like well known. Like she was like basically one of the best runners ever. She wanted to go to like the Olympics and stuff. And there's an earthquake, and I mean, I like don't want to think about it because it's so sad.
It severs off her leg and she could never run again.
so effed up. No, it's so effed up. Like,
Okay.
basically right off the get-go, as soon as the earthquake happens, like she was at school or something, or she was at training, and all of like the whole entire building starts collapsing, and like all her friends are dead, like just off the bat.
Damn.
Holy fuck.
No,
like that.
and each episode just gets like worse. Like it's seriously so sad because like she like her mom's not even there. Like her mom is gone. Um and her mom's like her mom was like flying home basically, and basically Japan's really prominent for having these like natural disasters. So I mean they stuck to like trying to make it like pretty accurate. Like it is based off of a book though. But basically the earthquake turned into a tsunami. Her mom was flying home. They had to like basically crash their plane into the water because Japan was basically like entirely screwed. Like the entire country was like going to sink underwater.
Oh my god.
Um,
Holy shit.
um,
It's
it,
called Japan Sinks 2020.
yes, it's one season. I can't remember how many episodes. Like you will literally bawl your eyes out
That's an
in
interesting.
every episode. Like every episode someone dies and it's so sad. Like
Spoiler,
she
lady,
lo-
come on.
no she like okay, so she in the second episode she reunites with her family, like her dad, her mom, her little brother and stuff. And then her best friend like that she had, he lost his mom. He like that was the only person he had. He lost his mom to the earthquake. So he basically sticks with her. They're trying to find this scientist who basically predicted this stuff. Like he predicted everything that was going to happen like way in advance. And they're trying to find him because they think like who like someone like was trying to plot against him, like they wanted this to happen. Um Basically the main character, her dad dies because he steps on a mine. Like they were trying to look for water and he started digging and turns out they were at a minefield. He steps on the mine, he blows up. Yeah. He blows up.
Okay, I'm gonna have to stop you because I do kind of want to watch this, and
Uh
so
Yeah,
I
this
died.
sounds
yeah.
good.
That
Yeah.
So
actually
that's
sounds
your
I mean,
favorite. That's your
like
favorite.
it's just like so emotional because you see like they all like have their own like struggles that they're going through, but just seeing each and every like each of them like fall off one by one made me cry so much. Especially like I think it was like one of the last episodes. Like was so angry because it was something that I didn't expect to happen and it happened, and I was so angry that I just like wanted to punch my TV and be like, "Why?"
Oh Jesus Christ!
Like it was so sad, but the ending is kind of like, positive-ish. Ish. I say ish because it's like, well, you killed off so many people before you made it good.
Oh Jesus Christ!
I did want to ask, what other animes have you seen? Just in general, like
There's
give me
one
a-
called
give me a-
Parasite on
Okay.
Netflix. Yeah, the one where he like has the parasite in his hand, and that one's one of my
It's
one of
actually
my
very
favorite.
good. Yeah.
Yes. In terms of like long-term like series and stuff,
Yeah.
the only one that I think I've actually like gotten through was Fairy Tail.
Oh no.
Okay, that's really good.
I think you
But-
just say Naruto. I was like,
No. I've tried to get through Naruto so many times, and like I'll watch it every now and then, but if it's one that I can actually consistently keep up with, it's Fairy Tail. The only problem with me that Fairy Tail has is like they kind of have a tendency to like drag on like each story arc that they have. Like they
Well,
drag it
that's-
on
That's that
for
type
like
of anime.
they drag it on though for like 50 plus episodes, and I'm like, you could have done this in 20.
Oh yeah, no, but here's the thing:
But-
for people who don't know about anime, specifically shonens, because I believe that's a shonen. When they make their anime, they do it by every chapter when the manga comes out.
Yeah.
So in order for the chapter for the manga to come out, they have to stretch that shit until they get the new material to make the new anime, which is why a lot of the anime takes forever to drag out.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why I asked you is because I want to know what your thoughts about Dragon Ball Z. Have you ever seen it? Any knowledge about it?
Oh, jeez.
Just out of curiosity. Okay.
No.
I wanted to ask because if you were like, oh yeah, I like it, I was about to say Dragon Ball Z, good, but the series is now shit. It
Yeah,
is shit to
I've
me.
been
It
like
is shit to
Here
me.
we go.
conflicted because I do want to watch Dragon Ball, but like at the same time, I always hear like mixed things, and I'm like,
Well,
I
okay,
really want to sit through it.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I am a huge Dragon Ball, like I love Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, but overall, once you the later ones that came out, the Dragon Ball Super, I think I grew up and just like started watching a whole lot of other stuff because the story is just to me, no longer as great.
Yeah.
And if you are gonna watch it, I mean, it's good. I like Dragon Ball. You want to start off with Dragon Ball to actually get the whole story. It's really good. Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z. It's just like you get to a certain point to like the newer stuff, and at like the end of Dragon Ball Z, where it's just like, I mean, like the story just like it's kind of more or less the same. A lot of the same tropes happen.
Yeah.
The story just is it kind of just it's the same. I don't know how to say it. How would you say it, Jacob, for someone who also watches Dragon Ball Z, watch Dragon
Oh,
Ball Super?
you mean a connoisseur of anime like myself? With my
I mean, like
waifu
myself, yeah.
right here? Yeah.
With your
figure.
hentai in the background.
Hey, you keep her out of this, all right? Yeah, I would say it's just a kind of Dragon Ball Z in particular repeats itself a lot with just a repetitive nature of like, okay, we got past this person, now here's the next person. But again, that's anime. That's all anime, unless you're dealing with like a one-off anime where it's like we have one season. Here is like where it goes from, okay, this is the main enemy, and now we got to get to the end of this and have the character development and everything to get to the main enemy where they become stronger. Yes, they're gonna struggle, but then they're gonna overcome it because of all the things they learned along the way. But with Dragon Ball, it's kind of like, and a lot of shonen, it's kind of like you have one enemy, and then once you get past that one, then a new threat that's powerful than that last enemy comes along. But it has the repetitive nature of like, also my guy Goku over here becomes more powerful too, and like overcomes that enemy. Unless he doesn't, which in some of the arcs he does not, in which someone else takes the podium and does that. So, what are you gonna say, Josh?
I was gonna say and that's not a bad trope to have.
Yeah.
It's just if there's no structure behind it, like I'm a huge One Piece guy. Like I love One Piece, right? My favorite anime, and the reason why, I mean, they have a lot of the same tropes that Dragon Ball Z has, but the reason why I like it is because each character has a rich backstory, and not only do they have a rich backstory, they also are constant. Like they will show up. Like if you had a guy that was in like, I guess in like around the beginning arcs, you see him later in the show 400, 500 episodes later, that same guy. You still see that guy, and he's still, like, in the story. Like, he is a person who needed to be in the story. Like, if that guy wasn't in that area at that time, the main character would have been screwed.
Yeah.
So that's the thing about a whole lot, like, Dragon Ball Z. They only have, like, 2 main people, and that is it.
Yep.
And if you watch the story from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z, you already know the main characters' backstories, so you can't get much out of the rest of the cast. Like there's not a whole lot you can get if you already know, and the backstories to a lot of the characters aren't that super rich.
Yeah.
I mean, the only 2 characters that you can really go further back, and that's even debatable, would be Goku and Vegeta, but you already saw them when they were young and kind of what happened. You can't go even further back because they were babies at that point. So, and you can't go in the middle because the middle of Dragon Ball is about Goku. If you were to go even further, it would be for Vegeta because you don't know what his life was like from what happened to when he was with his dad to what happened to the point where Goku fights Vegeta for the first time.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, like Dragon Ball's story, I mean, it's great. It's good. The story's good, but it's bad compared to a lot of other stories that they have, like Fairy Tale. Fairy Tale's really good. I like how well written it is. Like overall, it's I like the universe, and I'm typically not like one of those like I don't know super magic-y type universes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like don't get me wrong, I like the magic, but like it brings every type of thing into Fairy Tale, and like the story with it very good. Like it's a really good story.
Yeah.
Like that's what it reminds me of.
Hmm.
But I don't know, like that's why I was just curious if you ever like were like ever like saw Dragon Ball Z, because like I was about to just go deep and
No,
just crush
I
it because
Doesn't
I'm a
go
huge
into it.
fan. Yeah, I know, because I grew up with Dragon Ball Z. That's what got me into anime to begin with. That's what got me into Cowboy Bebop,
with like
into
Sailor Moon and
Sailor Moon.
Oh,
Man,
I
I
don't know if
watched
you guys.
Sailor Moon so much as a kid, and I totally did
Um,
not tell anybody because I thought I would get bullied at school for it. So,
oh yeah, at the
I
time that we went to
love
school, we would have
Sailor
gotten bullied
Moon.
hardcore.
yeah.
The crazy thing is I actually like both versions of Sailor Moon. Like they have of course like the like OG Sailor Moon and stuff because they have it on Hulu, and then they have like the newer version of it from like I want to say like 2016, something like that. I don't like because it's like basically it's not like like they basically like changed the like art like the art style and stuff so
Hmm.
it's like different but it actually looks pretty cool.
Hmm.
But I've always been like a Sailor Moon fan.
Yeah.
I love Sailor Moon.
Yeah, I'm kind of all over the spectrum. I love like I was telling Josh earlier, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood though,
It's
not
good.
not Full Metal Alchemist. I know
They're both good.
I know we talked
Both
about it,
good.
but I still got to stick with Brotherhood
They're
because I've
both
never
good.
seen Full Metal Alchemist, so I can't say it's one of my favorites or it's but they're both good
Well,
because I've never
well, the Brotherhood's better, but like they're both on that same tier.
Brotherhood to me, and like again, not seeing the original has such a satisfying ending where I was so happy with it and I can get away with it. Cowboy Bebop, also another favorite of mine. A lot of people this can be a go or no go because of how slow it is, but the character building and world building is chef's kiss, so good. And then also by the same guy who made Cowboy Bebop, which was
Samurai
um,
Champloo.
Samurai Champloo is one of my favorites as well. So
That's a good
mixing
one.
mixing samurai with hip hop R&B is like one of the best things I've ever seen like put together.
Well,
It's like
just
peanut butter and jelly. It just goes together.
it's
So.
lo-fi.
Lo-fi, yeah, you're right. By
That's all
yeah.
it is.
New is the guy who produced it, but has unfortunately passed away since he passed away a long time ago, but well, not a long time ago, but
But
years
yeah,
ago. But yeah,
I,
so
I'm so like I got like because of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, I got so into anime. Like I even watch a lot of the slice of life stuff that
Mhm.
nobody fucking watches, just because that's like how deep in the rabbit hole I got. Like
yeah,
I would watch, like what you said, Cowboy Bebop. I got really into.
hmm
Um, Yu Yu Hakusho, one of my favorite animes. It's by far way better than Dragon Ball Z, my
yeah,
opinion. Way better. Story's way better. The same guy who actually his wife is actually the person who created Sailor Moon.
yeah.
Hunter x Hunter is really good.
Who the guy who
I,
created Yu Yu Hakusho created
who made Yu Yu Hakusho?
Hunter x Hunter, yeah.
What other show? Again, my favorite, One Piece by far. Again, Demon Slayer, really good. And if you guys want another good show, it's only like I think like 13, 14 episodes. It's called Drifters. If anyone ever wants to see it, I want a season 2 of it.
What is that? I've heard of that.
So Drifters, what it is, it's an anime
Sorry.
about a lot of the historic figures in real life get pulled in this other universe that have to do with like elves, orcs.
It's an anime?
What else? Yes, it's an anime.
Pretty
Came
cool.
out in 2017. Hell yeah, I'm
Yes.
into this.
It has the same art style as Attack on Titan.
Love Attack on
So it has that same kind of anime art style for the anime,
12 episodes.
and it has to. Yeah, it's like 12 episodes. It's really, really good.
Okay.
But
I need
it
to
has
try
to
it
do
out.
with a lot of the politics in that show,
Mhm.
while having like Joan of Arc is in there, who has like all these weird powers. Um, Oda Nobunaga, who's a huge figure in Japan,
Bless you.
is in it. Who's a huge figure in that? He's in it. They have like they even have like World War II stuff in it, where they had like a Japanese kamikaze pilot
Oh wow.
who ends up
Okay.
crashing in. He doesn't die. He crashes in, and then he's like, "Where am I? What am I doing here? I should be in World War II." Hitler's in it for like they reference him for a second.
Oh
Yeah,
my
they have a
god.
lot of they have a lot of political figures like in our lives that
I
are
need to
in it.
watch this, man.
So it's really good.
Yeah.
My favorite, if your favorite character by far will be Oda Nobunaga.
Oda.
He's just
Bless you. Oh my god.
no, he's by far like the character you like will like. If you're
Okay.
into like that weird villain type stuff, that scheming shit,
Yeah.
he's the one that you'll love in that show. It's a great show, and I want there to be a season 2 so bad because
Damn.
how great season 1 was.
There was like a show that I watched, and it's so funny. It's actually on Hulu. It's called The Devil is a Part-Timer.
Yes,
I
Uh,
heard that one. Yeah.
good show.
I really was so upset that they didn't make a season 2 because I would have really loved to see them kind of like dive into like his like origins and kind of like where they came from and like them coming to like the real world, because it was just like it started off so hilarious but then it got so serious, and I actually like fell in love with it because of both of those reasons. Like I just freaking love the one girl that has like is his coworker and has like the biggest crush on him, and then she
Yeah.
finds out he's like the devil, and then she sees what he really looks like and she absolutely loses her mind and like faints.
Oh my
And
god.
she's just kind of like, damn, he's jacked.
Oh my god.
It's
A lot of
it's hilarious. It's such a good show. But yeah, it's on Hulu. It's only like
a
15.
lot of a lot of shows that people end up liking is a lot of the 12 episode shows. So unless it's like a huge popular manga in Japan or whatever,
Good night, prom. Thanks for tuning in, man. Sorry.
most of the animes will typically be like 12 episodes, and you'll find some of the best like episode animes being only like 12 episodes long, and you'll be
Yeah.
so
And
mad that why isn't
yeah,
there not a season 2?
so
Why is
sad.
it only 12 episodes? And you want to get more into it, and it's like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
Like at that point, you have to read the manga and all that. But,
A really good one I would say is Erased, but that's not the one I want to talk about. There's one I want to talk about, but Erased is super good, super short, and so worth the payoff of it is so worth it, and it's just really it's a really good story, sort of. I wouldn't say slice of life, but it's like a thriller sort of kind of, but super good. So if you looking for one that you haven't seen yet, Erased, really good. What were you gonna say, Lainey? I'll get to mine.
I'm trying to think of this one. Oh, no, I remembered it. It's also on Hulu. I don't know if they put a season 2 out yet. I think they had it like delayed for a bit, so I'm not entirely sure that they ever put the second season out. It's called Devil's Line. Basically, I'm not gonna lie, it kind of seems a little bit like erotica at first, because
that's how most animes are.
it does get a little weird, but like basically, it's like humans and vampires, and uh, there's like it's almost kind of like these group of special agents like tracking down vampires, but there's like a lot of them that want to live like a normal life, but the problem is that they like lust for blood, like literally like lust, like sexually lust for blood. It's so freaking weird. But they actually have one guy that is a vampire that is helping them like hunt down other ones that are like that they know for sure like are bad. But there like are ones that want to live a normal life. They want to have like a family and stuff, but it's just hard because, what if like your, significant other like has like a cut or whatever. They can't really resist the temptation kind of thing. But that one's really good. So far it's just one season.
Yeah, it
Um,
came out in 20. They started making in 2017 for anime, and then it came out in 2018, and it hasn't
yeah.
had a second season yet.
And I think it got delayed. Like I remember like reading about it, and then they said it got delayed and stuff. But they do have it as both sub and dub. The dub is actually pretty good. Like the people who were doing the voice acting, I actually like enjoyed hearing their voices a little bit more than the sub. I don't know why. Like I don't know why, but like the one main guy in it who is like a vampire or whatever, he like his voice is like super deep and like it's kind of intimidating, but at the same time you're kind of like intrigued.
Oh, well, there goes Josh. But
Yeah,
yeah,
my camera was acting.
yeah, I feel that's some ways with a couple anime. Like I think Cowboy Bebop you have to watch in dub. I don't think I don't think you should
No.
watch Cowboy Bebop in sub at all.
There's the I guess the national perception or an international perception for like sub and dub when it comes down to two specific anime is you wanted to watch Dragon Ball Z in dub, and Cowboy Bebop for sure in dub.
Yeah, everything else you can watch in sub, but I watch My Hero Academia, which is like one of the top animes right now. Like it has been for a couple of years now. I watch that dub. I can't watch it sub. I've heard the subs and I'm like I'm good. I like my dub characters, so
Um,
Once you hear dub, you can't hear sub,
yeah.
and vice versa.
Hold
So
on. Well, it's a little arguable with Fairy Tale because Fairy Tale, so they had some filler episodes and some of the episodes that actually weren't available in dub, so you had to watch them in sub, and I really didn't mind, but the problem is that I went to I went to RealmsCon in Corpus one year, and the voice actor for, I don't know what just happened, but some sound went off on my computer.
Oh, man.
It kind of scared me. But anyways, I went to RealmsCon one year and actually got to like meet the voice actor for Natsu because he plays in like a whole bunch of crap. Like he plays in Soul Eater, he plays my favorite character, Death the Kid. And then he of course plays Natsu in Fairy Tale and like other, I don't know what else he plays in, but
he's in a lot of
he
stuff.
yeah, he's in like so many things. And I got to meet him there. Like I was like walking with some friends and he like was on the phone and stuff, and he like turned around and like saw my cosplay, and he was really nice and stuff and like said hi and like complimented it. And I was just like, yeah, I can't do sub anymore after hearing you because like I'm so used to his voice now that like anytime I watch an anime in dub, I can easily recognize who that voice actor is based on
Oh
their,
yeah,
like
because they're all the same voice actors.
yeah, it's like, well, it's that, and they don't like him, for example. He's not like super versatile with his voice acting. Like when I hear him on stuff, it's more or less just his like the same voice,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of like, I like I've had other voice actors that I've like seen on animes where they're pretty versatile. Like I wouldn't know it was them because I saw like another anime and I could recognize their voice, but then they did this one and I can't even tell it's them until I look it up and find out that it's them.
For me, like when it comes down to voice actors too, like there's two that come to my mind that as soon as I hear the voice, I know exactly who the voice actor is,
Mm-hmm.
and that's Christopher Sabat. I don't know if you know who that is. That's the
Yeah.
guy
A
who
little
does
bit.
Vegeta.
Yeah.
He does Piccolo.
He does.
Yamcha.
He freaking
He
does.
does half the voice
Yeah.
the voice cast of Dragon Ball Z.
He does.
Yeah.
He does All Might in My Hero
Yeah,
Academia.
he does
And
All
I
Might.
freaking love him and all his All Might.
Yeah, he does All Might. He does a lot of characters that you'll hear from, and like you could just hear his voice, like, and you're like, oh, that's him.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy who plays, I can't think of his name. I hate it because I can never think of his name. And that's the guy who does Spike from
Steve
Cowboy
Bloom.
Bebop. Steve Bloom, that's it.
Yeah.
Because not only did he do anime, he also did cartoons, and he also did what
Come
else?
on, say it.
Video
Say.
games.
Okay. Never
He
mind.
did video games. So he did for the longest time he would do Wolverine,
Yes.
and he would also do
Say
go you say, you're the one that wants to say it.
it. He does Tom from Toonami.
Well, yeah, of
He's
course he
Tom
does.
from Toonami.
Well, yeah, I know
That
that.
where we all learned anime first, Josh. That's what I was trying to say.
I know, I know.
Okay.
But I was talking more of the other stuff that he did. So like
yeah,
he
Wolverine.
did like he did a lot of the video games too for like he was in he did Call of Duty. A lot of the Black Ops Zombie stuff he did that.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he has a huge spreadsheet of all the stuff that he's done.
Mhm.
So that's
Yeah.
why I'm like, anytime I hear his voice, I'm like,
It's you, Steve Bloom.
Yeah, anytime I hear like half the voice actors from Fairy Tail, I automatically know who they are in another anime because they all more or less like work together on the same stuff. Like Todd Habercorn, J. Michael Tatum, Jeremy Lay, freaking Brina Palencia, like all of them work together on the same stuff. Every time I hear them on something, I'm like, yep, that's them. Yep, that's them. That's them. That's them. I'm like, gosh dang.
So for one anime that that my like single anime that I'm kind of hardcore recommend is Megalobox. If you've never heard of Megalobox, it's a boxing
It's a good
anime. So good. The character development is so good. They do something completely different with an anime where I've never seen it before, and it's one of the coolest things I think I've ever seen. It makes me appreciate it even more. And I'm not gonna say what it is for people who will watch it eventually, but it's one of my favorites. It's so short. It has great character development, great world development. If you want the basis of it, it's boxing, but people don't box anymore how they regularly would box. They put on like this machinery around them. It's like machines that would like enhance their punches and everything. So they have like harder punches or like just some sort of skill with the mech that they have
So,
on.
in a sense, it's kind
it's
of
just
like
an upper
the Real
body match.
Steel thing.
Yeah,
It's like real steel, yeah,
Yeah.
but
It's
not
like-
robots.
it's-
They're actual humans.
Yeah, it's actual.
Yeah, yeah.
But the whole cool part of it though is that it centers around this guy named Joe who's kind of like a low life boxer who he gets paid. He's one of those who like gets bought out to lose sort of things. Like he's a really good boxer, but he like is so in debt and so bad that he gets paid out to lose, so he can never do his true potential. But then they have this thing called Megalomania or Megalobox Mania, or like the WrestleMania of that, and it's like called upon all the fighters, and so he goes in, but he goes in and his whole spiel to make him popular is that he fights without gear, so they call him Gearless Joe, and if that's not the coolest fucking name I've ever heard in anime, and like to go up against it, so good. And to make it even better, this April they're coming out with season 2 of it, and it follows it like 4 to 5 years later after like the ending of the anime. So it is and it's gonna be called Nomad, is what it's Megalobox season 2, but they're calling it Nomad instead of Megalobox season 2. So highly recommend. It was like my hype anime that like every hour on the hour that it came out and was like subbed to translated, I went in and watched it because it just has so much like good stuff about it. So definitely highly recommend. 12 episodes I think, so.
There's 2 more that I want to recommend. Because I recommend Drifters. One, of course, I will always recommend One Piece. The story is great. There's a reason why it's the #1 selling manga, why it surpassed Batman as one of the most sold, comics. Yeah. There's a reason, because the story's fucking good. It's really good. It's more good when you read it, for sure, if you read the manga. But the anime is pretty good too.
Okay.
So I would recommend it. It's at a point where it's like you kind of like to get into the hype where everyone else is on it with it. You kind of like want to get into it now because all the hype's kind of right now
Yeah.
for the show, for where they're at in that specific and in this specific time. Another one, if you want a crazy anime that you're gonna be like, what the fuck? It's called My Domestic Girlfriend. I don't know if any of you have heard of this one. I like it because it's drama packed and it's fucking weird and it's so fucked. It's really cringy. It's really cringy. So it's about this. I'll give you a little synopsis, and I'll let you go from there. Because I don't want you looking this up yet, Jacob.
Okay.
I don't want you reading it.
I looked up on Wikipedia, but I'll close out of it. All right.
Okay, yeah. Because I know that's exactly what you did. So the synopsis is there's this guy, right, who has a crush on this girl, right? He has this crush on his teacher, high school teacher. Like,
here we
he
go.
has this crush on her, whatever. And then he goes to a mixer with his pals, right? And then there's this girl, right? And then he ends up sleeping with her. First episode in the anime, right? Turns out later on in the episode, right? That's his new sister-in-law.
Oh, fuck.
Not sister-in-law, his new stepsister. And guess what? The teacher that he liked is also his new older stepsister.
Wait, what?
So
older stepsister?
Yeah.
So wait, his dad married their mom?
Another woman. Yeah.
Oh,
they're both
so they're related?
The girl that he liked
What the fuck?
is related to the girl that he fucked. And yeah, they're both related. So, and then his dad marries their mom, and it gets crazy from there.
What the fuck? Okay, yeah, definitely gotta check that out.
Okay.
It's like, you know exactly what you're getting into. It's crazy. It's weird.
I don't know.
Lainey's like, I think I'm gonna sit that one out.
Yeah, it's just funny because of what the character brings upon himself.
I feel like I would get a good laugh
really
out of
cringy.
it,
Yeah.
but I feel like at the same time I would feel so uncomfortable. Like I'm just gonna sit there like in my head thinking about that, and I'm like,
you're gonna be like,
I'm like, I want to like think it's wrong, but at the same time, in his defense, he didn't know.
oh no, it gets worse because at this time he knows. Like once he knows, it gets worse.
No, fuck that. No.
All right, I'll check it out this week at some point. But
it's just something to check out. It makes you think, why the fuck is this a thing? But it's funny and it's really cringy.
And
it's just like, why?
Okay.
I don't know. I got really addicted to it.
And
like,
to go off what Josh just said, why the fuck is this a thing? We're gonna end the episode there because why the fuck
is this a thing?
But as thank you guys all for tuning in. Thank you for everybody in the Twitch chat. If you didn't know, every Saturday and Sunday we're here recording. Obviously, it wasn't last week, but that was
it's either Saturday. Just to clarify,
I think we made up for that.
Yeah, we definitely made up. We're at 2 hours 22 minutes right now.
Oh my god.
So if you're watching on YouTube, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching this super long extended episode of the Real Baloney podcast. I'm Jacob Hugh. Well, you know, whatever. That's my full name. Why the fuck would I not just say that? All right. I'm Jacob. You can find me at twitch.tv/YouTube Gaming. That's Josh. Where can they find you?
Joshy Boy TV on Twitch.
And Lainey down there, lovely Lainey. What is your credentials and stuff that they can find you at?
Find me at ExoLuckyTiger on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram.
Yeah. Also, you can find me there at this YouTube Gaming at the same things that she just said, Twitter, Instagram, all that. Anyway, so thanks everybody for tuning in. This has been episode 3, the longest episode we've ever done, the return of the Real Baloney, as we like to call it. And we'll be talking next week about more anime, more Wandavision. Who knows? It can go any way when you're dealing with Real Baloney. All right, guys, we're gonna Doctor Strange out of here, and we'll see you guys next week. See you
for next week.
Oh my god! All right, bye.